Live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over social media, mainstream media, everywhere, and I'm not sure where to start. First of all, the DC takeover is still happening, and I love it. More and more ordinary people, black people who they say are the ones being targeted unfairly by Trump's takeover, more and more of them are coming out and saying, hey, we like it, we love it, we want more of it. Thank you, Trump. Please keep going, because I'm tired of seeing people that look just like me dying every single day at the hands of people that look just like me. We'll talk about that a little bit more, a little bit later. Also, is Chicago next? Hey, I hope so, because y'all got a serious problem as well in a lot of these areas, a lot of the black areas, the same as DC. So, hey, if the residents say, let's get more security, why would anybody be against that? This is why when they say, oh, the police are racist, the police hate black people, I've said it multiple times that the police are often the last bastion of hope in the community. We'll talk about that a little bit more, a little bit later. Also, Rampage Jackson. That was a really crazy incident. There's quite a few takes from all over the interwebs. We'll talk about that a little bit more, a little bit later. Also, I guess Cracker Barrel, that's a big story in the news. I have an opinion about that. I'll share that in a minute. Also, Zohran Mamdani versus 135 pounds at best, probably 115 pounds, struggling, had to get 2 spotters. We'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing thus far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got a whole lot going on. There's a lot I want to discuss, Cracker Barrel and stuff like that. I didn't do a Cracker Barrel video because I didn't really know how to approach it. I still may do one, maybe, because of the whole logo thing. Shout out to you guys who were in the Instagram stream on last night. That was a good one. And I'm seeing the audience starting to build over there. Shout out to you guys on Instagram. Shout out to you guys on Facebook as well. And of course, shout out to the YouTubers, the OGs. You know, without you, there's nothing. But during my Instagram live, I was talking about, a lot of different things. Cracker Barrel was one of them. And I think the issue with Cracker Barrel is they're trying to modernize. See, if I do my video, it'll be from that angle. They're trying to modernize. They're trying to compete against First Watch. And First Watch, in my opinion, is a modernized version of Cracker Barrel. The problem with a Cracker Barrel is that people don't go there for anything modern. They go there for nostalgia. So when you update something that is supposed to be nostalgic, especially when you update it improperly, you're going to turn off a lot of people who go there just for the nostalgia. Let me give you an example. So Cracker Barrel, if you go there, the last time I was in Cracker Barrel is many years ago. I don't really go to breakfast spots, but the last breakfast spot I went to many years ago was our First Watch. But anyway, Cracker Barrel, back in the day, you go there, they got these uncomfortable wooden chairs. The tables are small, the utensils and the plates, it's not necessarily comfy. But the old-timey stuff was not very comfy. The things we have today, we take for granted. All these McMansions. If your house is like 2,000 square foot, you live in the mansion compared to what they had back in the day. You're talking about a house that's 800 square foot. Listen, my dad's first house, when he came to Virginia, from West Virginia, out there in Portsmouth. If you know about Portsmouth, my dad had a house in the South Side, right by the park. If you know, you know. Basically, this is a hood area with really, really small houses. His first house, it may have had 3 rooms total. If it was 800 square feet, I'd be surprised. I'm talking about a shoebox at best. People lived like that back in the day. They say boomers had it easy. Okay, what kind of house did your boomer parents have? Do you know what the poverty rate was in America then? Like, let's say 1960. I did a little bit of research. Back in 1960, the overall poverty rate in the USA was 22%. Now it is 11%. So you can say that things are easier things were easier for the boomer generation, but look at what they went through to get to where they actually wound up. They weren't born with a silver spoon. It was even worse for the black population. 55% poverty in 1960 compared to about 17.1 right now today. So we've improved as a country. There's more opportunities. You have an easier life. Things are better today than they were back then. When you're looking at the numbers, when you're looking at the ease of your life, you're not getting drafted, going to war. One of my uncles died in Vietnam. You're not having that happen to you. Things are a lot easier now than they were in the past. So we use all these creature comforts that we did not have in the past, which is why a Cracker Barrel is trying to modernize. You don't want to have them little uncomfortable chairs. And some of y'all got big backs because it's so easy nowadays. You could just sit on your hind parts, eat all day without doing anything, zero productivity. So you don't want to go to a Cracker Barrel and sit in that little small chair and be scrunched up over this table trying to eat 1,000 pancakes in one sitting. You understand what I'm saying? So they have to modernize to accommodate people in a newer generation, but still got to have that old school charm. And when you changing your logo, when you change your logo to what they did, it's like, nah, that ain't gonna do it, because you're defeating the whole purpose. I'm not going to Cracker Barrel for the food. I'm not going there for the food. What I'm going there for is nostalgia. What I'm going there for is a feeling. Okay, hold on. Let me put this on the screen right quick. And this is just not even about Cracker Barrel at this point. This is just straight up business 101. I used to be a graphic designer. This is what I used to do all the time. I would have these discussions with people about their business. Okay, your business is X, Y, and Z. Why is your logo that? It doesn't match. People are used to this particular brand. Why would you change it? You're making the mistake. Okay, so you see what's going on. You see the old school with the peanut and the man, the white man with the barrel, old country store, and then you change it to this. It's a little bit too sterile. It has a hint of the past, but it is trying to modernize, which defeats the purpose of going to a place like Cracker Barrel. You go there for the old-timey feel. You don't go there for all the modernizations. You want modernizations as far as the things that make it easier for the consumer to enjoy your product, but you don't want to go all the way far to the left to the point where you're trying to become First Watch or a glorified Starbucks or something like this. This was just strictly a bad business move. I think they said that cost them $700 million to do that. $700 million to renovate. And I think they spent like $30 million or so on consultants. A consultant that said, hey, you know what? That'd be a great logo. Listen, I could have told you that wasn't going to be a good logo straight from the beginning for the free 99. For the free 99. You don't got to pay me $30 million. You don't got to pay me 30 million US American cold hard cash dollars to say that ain't going to do it. So shout out to Cracker Barrel. You know what? I think it's happening with some of these places, some of these companies, not just them, but other companies, is that they're struggling. Red Lobster had a problem. They were struggling. Then they bring in the new CEO and he turns things around. Same thing with them. They're trying to do the same thing to prevent from being irrelevant and just fading away as some kind of obscure thing that may be popular in certain locations, but not popular throughout the country. So they're trying to modernize and keep themselves afloat. But ultimately, I mean, listen, you know what you could do, Cracker Barrel? You know what you could do is just update the inside, okay? Make the tables a little bit bigger for the big backs of 2025. The big backs, the big backosauruses that are going to roll in there on a vacation or after church or whatever it is, okay? Update it in the inside for them. But another way to update is improve some of that food. Because last time I was at Cracker Barrel, I wasn't really impressed. You may go to one that's good for you, but the one I went to, I was like, nah, the food ain't really, I can make this at home. This is like Lego my ego at best. Lego my ego at best. This is stovetop stuffing. This is like basic stuff you could get from Food Line and make that in your kitchen. So I wasn't impressed. And for real, you know, breakfast, I don't even eat breakfast no more. First Watch, they got better food, but it's big back stuff. You go to First Watch, like you can order pancakes, like it's on the menu. The order you get is so massive. I'm talking about, you guys ever seen the Flintstones? I know I'm old, don't worry about it. But you guys ever seen the Flintstones? And they give you the big rack of ribs, and it's like the entire vehicle tips over because there's so many ribs in there. That's what they do. A lot of these restaurants do that, so it's not really my cup of tea. But the food is better than Cracker Barrel. So you have to compete on that point if you want to compete with your competitors. Don't just try to make it look better, make it be better. That would be your objective. Spirit says Cracker Barrel was average food. It's average. It's like if you like your restaurant that you go to, your Cracker Barrel, if you like it, I love it. But in general, from what I've experienced in my times going to Cracker Barrels throughout the country, it's just like, this is Holiday Inn Express continental breakfast at best. This is Motel 6 complimentary bagels and toast at best. You know what I mean? It's that you go down to the hotel lobby, 6 a.m., something like this, and you go in a little room they got, and you open a little, the filthiest dish ever, and you get in pieces of bacon, and it's like that. So I'm good. But what do y'all think? I didn't think it was really a big story, but it's interesting because of the business part of it. It's interesting. Yeah, First Watch was 5 minutes to Misty. Yeah, First Watch, hey, they can't really compete with First Watch. If they want to compete with them, they got to just copy their recipes. Train some cooks. You got McDonald's cooks in there at best. Get some of them First Watch guys. Get some of them line cooks that work on like a little mid-tier restaurant. Bring them in there. And really, ultimately, how about raising that price to get some quality food if you want to attract a new audience? If you want to keep your core audience, keep doing what you've been doing, maybe improve the food a little bit. That's pretty much all that you should be doing. All right. Ruth says, you know what you're getting. That's why people like it. Hey, you know what? If they like it, I love it. But if they want to compete, if they want to get new people, then you got to just improve. There's no other way. And that goes with anything, with anybody. People always ask me about becoming an influencer. First of all, I don't really recommend that. I recommend you find a profession and do that. And then if you can do videos on the side, then do it. That's what I did. I was a graphic designer. I didn't stop designing until like 3 years into what I was doing with YouTube because I didn't have no more time. But you got to get a profession first. And then once you get into making videos, just make really good content. Content as good as or better than the next person. Consistent, thoughtful, intelligent. You got to have something that would make somebody want to watch you. Same thing with a restaurant, same thing with any kind of business. What do you have that makes the general public want to come to you rather than that person? Or why would they come to you and that person and so on and so on and so forth? So yeah, Carolyn says boomer meetup. Shout out to the boomers. Shout out to the boomers. You know what I mean? People always kind of hate on the boomers. I respect the boomers because I know what they had to go through. And the generation before them, I mean, what were the options available to you as an American, regardless of what your race was back like 100 years ago, as far as employment? What were you going to do? Okay. What were you going to do like in 1925 as an American? Did you have the option of being a digital nomad or a stock trader? Was that really an option for anybody in 1925? It wasn't no cell phone. It wasn't no nothing. No TV, no cell phone, no nothing. You had a little, you had that going on, but that's about it. So things are different. Technology changed, time changed, and you got to change with it. And if you want to kind of stay in the past and not move forward, then you get left in the past. Yeah, but work at the ammo factory. Yeah, you're going to be working in the factory, coal mining, farming, picking cotton. That's what you're going to be doing. That's what you're going to be doing. You might be dead early, 50 years old, dead from working. Yeah, be a farmer, robbing banks. It's so easy nowadays. It's so easy nowadays. Whenever I have a day where I'm not doing much, I feel like I'm a loser. It's like I need to be doing something. If I ever find myself just kind of sitting idle, like during the daytime especially, I got to get up and move around and do something. Yeah, absolutely. Backup says you could be a bartender at the Speakeasy. Exactly. Mike says 1960 you could have gotten paid to go along with the hoax that we went to the moon. Hey, I didn't say it. Mike said it. So, hey, you gotta. Hey, don't blame me. Blame Mike. So shout out to Mike. Team May says steel, coal, oil, refinery, electricity. Yep. My great grandmother, who I knew, was alive during the time where it wasn't no electricity. It was just like not even really a thing. I mean, I think it had been invented by 1900, of course, but it wasn't like everybody had it. Running water, that wasn't really a thing for a long time. So people grew up, no electricity, no running water. Imagine how that is like a thing we take for granted. They never even had at all. And then we say that they had it easier. It's crazy. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Zenith says I look around on Sundays. And on Sundays, I don't usually produce any kind of content. But I'm doing stuff. That's my okay. I'm cleaning the whole house. I'm cutting my grass. I'm going in the store, stocking up on stuff. I'm washing my cars. I'm doing all kind of stuff on Sundays. Sundays I don't do like this usually, but I'm doing something. That's just me. But everybody's different. As long as you're able to meet your responsibilities, then you're good. As long as you're not loafing around and letting things go by the wayside. You know, as I see some people, they loaf around and they're not paying their bills. It's like, all right, if you're not paying your bills and you just kind of chilling all the time, then we need to be doing something else, right? So yeah, that's pretty much how I look at it. As long as you're able to get everything done, then you're good. But me, I just don't like the feeling of it personally. But that's just me. I remember the 3-channel days, Keith. Hey, Keith, I remember the 3-channel days. I remember not having the TV at all. I remember getting the TV like I might have been 5 or 6, little 13-inch. It might have been a black and white TV, or it might have been color. I can't remember. Little 13-inch TV. But before that, it had no TV. If you had a TV, you were rich at a certain point, and then it became cheaper to get a TV. But yeah, 3 channels. You got to go up to it and turn it. No remote control or nothing. Yeah, absolutely. Sarah says, my grandma had to shovel coal in their basement furnace in northern Pennsylvania, where the winters can last 5 to 6 months. Imagine that. Hey, imagine that, right? A woman shoveling coal into the furnace, and you got to do that for like half of the year. Imagine that. Like nowadays, a woman doing anything close to that is like pretty much unheard of. Unheard of. But back in the day, it was different. This whole thing about women not working, that's a new concept, kind of, sort of. Even with the Amish, those women work. They don't go to corporate America and do jobs like that, but they're working on the farms. They are cooking. They're actually doing things. See, nowadays, we got it so easy. You could just call, or you don't even got to talk to nobody. Just use this, push some buttons on the phone, and then food magically shows up. Groceries magically show up. Everything magically shows up, and the food could be cooked, prepared to your liking. You can get a steak, medium well, rare, well done, whatever you want, right on your doorstep within an hour, 30 minutes to an hour. You only got to go nowhere. And you put it on a credit card. You ain't even paying for it with cash. Credit cards are a recent invention. So my point is, let's just take what we have and recognize how privileged and grateful we should actually be to have these things. All right. But yeah, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. 80s was the best. Shout out to the 80s. The 80s were a good time. 80s were a great time. The 90s, of course, for the millennials in the building, the 90s were amazing. I mean, there's always been great times throughout history. I think even now is a great time, depending upon how you look at it. But of course, for me, being a kid in the 90s, it was nothing like it. Nothing like it at all. You could order a date, and you could do whatever you want on the phone, Exotic. You could get whatever you need on the phone for the free 99 or for a small price. A small price. Oh, the AC, forget about it. Hey, the air conditioning, imagine being in the South with no AC. The Europeans don't have AC typically, but they live in the more, in the colder climate. They live in the northern climate typically. I mean, you got the Mediterranean, but I'm talking about like the majority of Europeans, I would say, live in a colder environment than it is here. I don't think there's like a place as hot as South Georgia in Europe. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't think so. Imagine being in South Georgia picking cotton. Hey, I was in South Georgia recently and I saw just endless cotton fields. Imagine working out there in August. It's 100 degrees, humid. I mean, good grief. Man. No internet, no nothing. Yep. Imagine being a white guy in South Georgia. Oh, can't forget about it. Hey, man, you're going to be burnt to a crisp. Because I know I'll go out there, the skin burning my sun, and I'm black, and I got natural protection. If you don't have the melanin to protect yourself, whether you white, Asian, whatever, or you just got real light skin, forget about it. Or you could be a black person with real light skin. That sun going to tear you to pieces. 100 degrees, and the sun is like right on your forehead, right there. Unbearable. And then working, but also living in your house with no AC during that. It's unbearable. Modern creature comforts make us forget what life is like without them. So when they're not there, when they're taken away, people are going to fall apart. So I hope and pray we don't have to experience that, but it might. It most certainly might. Hold on, Sadie says, Brits, why when it's 80 degrees outside? Yeah, I saw that. I saw it was one video. The lady was like, it's very hot in here. It's 76 degrees. I'm like, 76? My house right now, as we speak on this YouTube, is 76. So for me, that's like kind of comfy. For them, that's like excruciatingly hot. All right. And this is why when you go to your grandparents' house, it's blazing in there. Oh man, I go to grandma's house to this day. You go in there, it's hot. It's hot. When I was a kid, it's hot. Now it's hot. But for them, it's fine because their bodies are used to it and they live to be very old and they get around just fine. So it must be something that they're doing that's right. You know, but everybody can't do with that. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got quite a few topics to get to today. But first things first, shout out to you guys for watching. You guys are the best and the first sponsor. But also shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the description, or just go to patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. You'll be able to find articles for each long form video that I produce on YouTube. And in each article, you got sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the politically agnostic, Democratic, Republican, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, AnthonyBLogan.com. Also, please go to the contact page of the website, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my email address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. Yes, I am on TikTok, although they suck. All those links are right there on the contact page of the website, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact-us. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you're conversing with me on the interwebs or not, you're probably not. And there's a few things to look out for. Oh, I got some Bitcoin, foreign exchange. Give me some money. I give you something back. It's not me. So if you get a message like that from anybody that is claiming to be me, it's fake. Please don't fall for it. Every day, I see articles, I hear stories about somebody getting scammed on the interwebs. I think I told y'all there was one guy who had went to the airport. Hold on. He had went to the airport in Atlanta. He sold everything. Okay. And I probably can't even find it right now, but everything got sold. Hold on. Never mind. I was going to find it, but I'm not. But he sold everything to go, I don't know, be living with somebody he met on the internet that he's not met before. And then once he gets to the airport, he realizes it was a scam and he's just out of everything that he worked his whole life for. Old man, you know what I mean? Later in life, I'm about to retire, and then you don't because you get scammed. But yeah, please don't fall for it. It's 2025. Now, can we talk about, I just want to talk about a couple of things first, just off the rip. Zohran Mamdani. I've been covering him quite a bit. And of course, most of my coverage has been about his communist policies. I covered him talking about, we're going to have these city-run grocery stores in food deserts. And then I showed how these stores don't work. There was one that was just like what he imagined in Kansas City, Missouri, that shut down after $29 million of taxpayer monies was pumped into it. Why? Because a food desert cannot be solved by outside money. You got to fix the actual neighborhood first. You got to fix that, because if the people of the neighborhood, first of all, don't want to go there, because was it even a good grocery store? Why would I go there when there's a Kroger or a Walmart 5 miles away? Why would I go there? Ask yourself this. If you got a brand new Publix 5 miles away from this ghetto grocery store with crime and violence happening outside, why would you go to the ghetto grocery store? And the people who do go there, all they're going to do is steal. So what's the point? It doesn't make any sense. Put things where it makes sense to put them. There's areas that have economic activity and those that don't. You can't artificially make that happen with taxpayer money. It doesn't work. It does not work. If you put a brand new shiny city-owned grocery store in the middle of nowhere or the low-income area, it's not going to just become successful like it's a store in a nicer area, because the people of that area are going to make the store be what it is, and it's going to be kind of substandard anyway. So it just didn't really make any sense. And this is what Zohran is about. However, he also was trying to lift weights out here in Brooklyn during Men's Day. Now, look, I don't know who had the bright idea to make this happen, but this was silly. It was almost as silly as Cracker Barrel changing their logo to make it be modernized when the whole point of going there is for nostalgia. But let's check this out.
This is how you move up in the polls. This is how you move up in the polls. Yeah.
Now, I wonder if he says to him right here, hey, you guys got to spot me because I can't lift the weight. Now, I got a question for you guys, because I gave him grace and said this is 135 pounds because of the bar. Olympic bars are 45 pounds. And then the weights are 45s. But the weights, I'm looking at them now, they look a little bit smaller than 45s. Some said it might have been 35s or even 25s. Now, if you got 25s of those holes in it to carry it, that's kind of, I've never seen a 25 with that on it, but maybe it does. But that could be 35 pounds. Now, a little bit of context. When I was in high school, we had physical fitness tests. And part of it was including the weight bench. The test for the girls was just the bar by itself, the 45 pounds. For the boys, it was the bar plus 2 45-pound plates, one on each side, for 135 pound total. That was the minimum you had to actually put up. If you could not put up 135 in high school, we 14, 15 years old, you can't put up 135, you failed. Let's see a 33-year-old man, what he could do with that same weight that you got to lift when you're 15 years old.
This is how you move up in the polls. Yeah.
You have 2 spotters. Why do you need 2 spotters for 135? Some of y'all said 115. I'm trying to be nice. I try to be a nice guy. I do my best. I really do. So I was giving him a little bit of grace and said it was 135, but y'all saying 115, which is even worse.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Let me get one more. Let me get three. Yeah.
All right, there we go. So again, that is Zohran Mamdani, the New York City mayoral candidate who is in the lead right now. He'll probably be the next mayor of New York City, unfortunately. Listen, I hope and pray that he's not the next mayor. But you know what? Maybe, just maybe, New Yorkers who want this guy, maybe they need him for a term. Just go ahead. Hey, you know what? If y'all want him that bad, I'm going to just let y'all do it, because you have the right to just get whoever you want in there. I can't stop you. You have the right to vote for whoever you want. And once you get this man, you'll realize that you made a mistake. The signs are there. I'm trying to warn you. I'm Paul Revere telling you that the commies are coming. Okay? The commies are coming, and he is leading the way. 115, bro, for real. 130. Look, At best, it's 135, but it's probably more like 115 or maybe even like 95 pounds. You can't lift that as a full-grown man. Have you ever done anything? And, you know, it's guys like this who think that they have the answers, but they don't know anything. They know what they have read in the book that they were instructed to read to brainwash them. They've been successfully brainwashed into believing that communist principles work, but they never work. They never, ever work. All throughout the world, there's always starvation. There's always strife. You're never able to actually make socialism, communism work. The more you lean into it, the more problems you have. California is an example. Okay, California says we're going to give a bunch of money to the homeless. We're going to just throw money at it. Give them this. Give them. All that you're doing is just encouraging more homelessness, encouraging more healthy Americans to get on drugs and not work. You're making the problem worse. You're enabling the problem by throwing money at it. And ultimately, the money's going to go in the hands of these NGOs, and the NGOs have a vested interest in the homelessness not ever coming to an end because that's how they make money. Why would I want to fix the problem that's making me money? If an oil leak on my property is making me money because I'm getting the oil from the leak, why would I patch the leak? It's not a leak. It is a fountain of money. That's how they see the homelessness in a place like California. Now, the flag burning situation. So y'all know Trump passed an executive order that made it be a felony to burn an American flag. Or, hold on, let me sure I'm saying the right thing. Okay. Was it any flag or just the American flag? Okay. Let me see. For flag burning, is a U.S. flag. Okay, U.S. flag. Attorney General Mamdani said the goal of the prosecuting people for flag burning could be accomplished. Hold on. I think we got a video right here. Let me just play this right quick so we can be on the same page. All right. And if you like what you're hearing so far, you know what to do. Give me a second because these websites I hate with their refresh. All right, there we go. There we go. Let's go ahead and just play this for some context.
Flag burning. All over the country, they're burning flags. All over the world, they burn the American flag. We've never seen before. People go.
So the caption right here says, 1989, the Supreme Court ruled that burning the American flag is a form of political expression and free speech, which is protected by the First Amendment.
Crazy.
And it says, Attorney General Mamdani said they can penalize people without infringing on the amendment.
And what the penalty is going to be, if you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail, no early exits, no nothing, and it goes on your record. And you will see flag burning stopping immediately, just like what I said.
All right, so what's your opinion about that? And I just wanted to read to make sure it's about American flags. All right. It says executive order flag burning. And let me see. It said Trump administration aims to test that. President Trump signed an executive order August 25th, which directed his administration to prosecute, who burn American flags. I just want to make sure we're on the same page because there's other flags that people like to burn. But before I talk about that, this guy decided to test what Trump was talking about as far as burning the American flag. He's out there, I believe, like right by the White House or on Capitol Hill, burning an American flag.
However you feel that you may want to express yourself. There's a First Amendment right to burn the American flag. The Archbishop in that house right there signed an executive order today saying that it was illegal to burn the American flag. No president can make a law, period. No Congress will make a law infringing on First Amendment rights. I'm burning this flag as a protest to that illegal fascist president that sits in that house.
All right, so I ain't gonna show it because YouTube was weird. But they came by later and put it out.
President Trump put forward today. According to that executive order, I should be in prison right now serving 1 year.
You want to step with the...
Now he's getting arrested. So what do y'all think about that? What's your opinion about the flag burning executive order? Overreach, unconstitutional, freedom of speech violation? Y'all let me know. Now, while you ponder that, or if you've answered and you just kind of chilling, let me just show you something else. Let's put it in context a little bit, because remember all the LGBTQ LMNOP crosswalks? Okay, you got kids doing wheelies and burnouts and whatnot on the flag, and then they want to try to go get them and get them in trouble. Okay, 3 kids got charged with felonies for a few scooter marks on the LGBTQ mural. Okay. Oh, hold on. Remember this one right here? There was a manhunt for this guy. Remember this? Because he did a burnout on the flag on the street. Okay. So my thing is, if we're going to say that it's unconstitutional to ban flag burning for, 1 year in jail or whatever, then it shouldn't be a penalty if I do a burnout on the LGBTQ LMNOP flag on the ground, or an Israeli flag, an American flag, a Canadian flag, any flag. If it is legal to burn flags, then it is legal to burn flags. It should be legal to do a burnout, to desecrate it, to do whatever you want. And not just the American flag, but all flags. You can't prosecute me for doing burnouts on the LGBTQ and then say it's against the Constitution that I say you can't burn the American flag. All I want is some consistency, because the LGBTQ LMNOP X, Y, and Z would not support Trump's ban on burning the American flag, but they would support the ban on doing donuts, doing skid marks on the LGBTQ flag. That's hypocritical. 1,000%. It's almost some, it's a hate crime. I hate crime, really? You're talking about paint on the ground, on the road where I'm supposed to drive. That's a hate crime. A hate crime is if somebody actually gets hurt. That like, to me, that's a hate crime. Okay, somebody is whatever kind of identity and they're hurt because of that reason. And even hate crime laws, I feel like, are a little bit, because you get a little bonus because you're gay. Okay, fantastic, great. So what that mean? If you get hurt and you're gay, it's an extra crime? All right. Yeah, the guy's beat up, he's bleeding. Is he gay? Okay, did the guy call him the F word before he did it? Hate crime. I think all of that is kind of dumb. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Now, Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Have you guys seen these people? Look, okay, first, do we see what's going on here? Okay. You got a bunch of white liberals. You got one Asian guy in the back. Okay. One Asian guy. He don't know where he at. I thought I was going to Hong Kong. I wound up in Pennsylvania somewhere. But anyway, so you see them with their pink vests on, and they got a sign that says "Free Kilmar." And you know about Kilmar Abrego Garcia, he was mistakenly, not really, deported to El Salvador. The left made a whole big kerfuffle about it, a whole big stink about it. They went to go get him from El Salvador, and they brought him back to the USA, only for him to get detained. And then he may potentially go to Uganda rather than where he's from, which is El Salvador, which is where he was at. Anyway, let's hear their song, shall we? Yes, they're singing the song because, white liberals love to sing songs about violent criminals. Check it out.
Kilmar is our neighbor. You can't have him, Trump. No! Kilmar is our neighbor. You can't have him, Trump. Kilmar is our neighbor. You can't have him, Trump.
Okay, now look. First of all, what melody is that? Is that "This Little Light of Mine"? Is that it? Did we transform a church song into a song supporting a violent criminal? Let's talk about what Kilmar has done that's been documented. First of all, he beat his wife and she put out a restraining order on him. That's one. Then he was caught on camera human trafficking. He had like 7 illegal aliens from Mexico, and it was on his usual route from Mexico to the USA. a known human trafficker. There was an allegation about him having something on his phone, some pictures he shouldn't have had on his phone. Okay, there was an allegation there from Christy Nome. I don't know what's going on with that. But Kilmar, and he's a gang member, Kilmar is the absolute worst person to defend. But of course, when you need to defend a violent criminal, when you need to defend a gang member, when you need to defend an illegal alien, we need to defend someone who should not be in this country at all and should get locked up, making big rocks little, you can always count on the white liberal. One more time for the road.
Kilmar is our neighbor. You can't have him Trump. No! Kilmar is our neighbor. You can't have him Trump.
So yeah, there you go. Hey, you know, see this right here. This right here is why white liberals, I can't do nothing with them. You know, wherever they're at, and I see the big transformer in the back, the transformer tank. What's going on with the transformers? Like, why is that really a thing? You know what I said on my Twitters, and shout out to you guys who follow me on Twitter. What I said is that a lot of your white mass shooters, it's the pornography just damaging their minds. It's also what makes them become transgender. I think it's all linked. And you create a mental problem that way. A lot of the mass shooters, and when I say mass shooter, I'm talking about people that shoot up schools. I ain't talking about neighborhood, beef, gang shootings. That's different. We know who's doing that. The same criminals that get slaps on the wrist at best when they go before the judge, prosecutor, everybody else. Anyway, I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about those that shoot up schools. It's always Transformer. We saw the whole Nashville situation, Transformer. There's been case after case after case after case where the person who does something like this crashes out and takes people's lives that are just totally innocent, transgender, social media, like all kind of just negative things they are involved with. Every single time. The guy who shot Trump had some of that stuff going on too. Okay. And that's just what it is. Now, it was funny seeing Kilmar in a video, picketed panty when he was. Hold on. Matter of fact, I got to show some of that before I move forward. Before I talk about the shooting out there, what was that in Minneapolis? Did you guys see Kilmar at the press conference speaking to Penny? Speaking Spanish. Hold on.
Cuando estuve detenido, siempre recordé momentos hermosos con mi familia, momentos de ir al parque, de ir al trampolín con mis hijos.
When I was
Hey, you want to take your kids to the park? That's what I heard. But okay, why are you picking the panty right now and crying and everything else? And you appear to have lost weight. You're in shape. What you go do in El Salvador? Go to the gym? Hey, my man was in El Salvador eating good food, getting nutritionists, going to the gym, playing with parrots and birds and all kind of other stuff. It's like, bro, all you had was a vacation in your home country of El Salvador. Don't tell me nothing. You were in there with your cousins and your uncles and everybody else. Please stop. I'm not buying crocodile tears for you or your wife. Okay? I'm not buying it. I wonder if you cried when you whipped her hind parts. Anyway, I'm saying too much. But that's him at a press conference talking about the whole ordeal. And this is him back in 2022. What? Back in 2022 when they got pulled over with a bunch of illegal aliens in this vehicle from Mexico.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good, and you?
All right.
Everything good?
You got a bunch of people here, don't you?
It's 1 for 6. Yes. Go back.
He said it's room for 6. He said it's room for 6. He's having the full conversation in English.
To work.
Gotcha. Where are you working at? Where?
San Luis, Missouri.
Missouri?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I'm from to Maryland.
Where do y'all live at?
Where I living? I live in Maryland.
Maryland?
Yeah, also here.
Whose vehicle is it?
What, excuse me?
Whose car is it?
It's to my boss.
So you're able to tell them where you live. You say, Oxon Hill, Maryland. This is my boss's car. Everything's good, boss. How about you? But then when you go to the press conference, I don't speak in no English. All right. All right, whatever. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Don't even worry about it. See, people like this, How is that kind of person defensible? You got a car full of illegal aliens. Look, and the lady right here, and the lady, she ain't saying a word. Hold on. She ain't say nothing the whole time. She don't speak no English at all. She already know what time it is. They're getting pulled over. Oops, I'm about to get deported. I'm about to get sent back. Oops, made a mistake. She ain't saying nothing at all the whole time. And everybody in the back, they ain't had no luggage. You knew what it was. It was human trafficking. But wife beater, human trafficker is fine, right? It's totally fine. Okay, now this is the guy. This is the mass shooter. That's him right there. You can see the problem. It's this same archetype presents itself in a lot of these mass shootings. Feminine, like somebody sent me something, but I'm gonna tell you that in a minute. But these feminine acting boys that become young men, lost, angry, okay, and then of course he had this on his weapon: delete Donald Trump, rip and tear. So you already know what kind of stuff he's on. But I'm told that these guys, I'm told that the people that are on the left, a lot of your Trump haters, they're going to be the good ones, the safe ones, or whatever. A lot of your violence is being stoked by that side. We say be peaceful. We're not into all of that. But a lot of them, they're on that because a lot of the violent rhetoric is okay when it's about President Trump. But that violent rhetoric is consumed by these guys who are mentally unstable and they really believe it and they go out there and crash out. Well, I'm not going to say that's the only reason why they crash out, but it's part of it. It's part of it. Okay. The guy had problems. He had all kind of stuff in his, okay. He was drawing stuff like this. Like, what is that even? The guy had problems. Mental problems. And I think maybe an outward manifestation of your mental problem is if you're a boy thinking you're a girl. If you're a man thinking you're a woman, that might be a little bit of a hint. That person ain't really all the way wrapped too tight. Maybe keep an eye on him. Keep an eye on him. Rather than playing into his delusion, just call it what it is, a delusion. Just maybe. Now, we got MS-13 DNC talking about what's going on here. And look at this lineup, man. Look at this lineup. Like, what in the world? Do we have so few people that want to go on TV that this is what best we could come up with for MSNBC? You know what? Joy Reid was better than this. I'd rather have Joy Reid than this character right here, this drag performer, whoever he is with this rack top. Michael Steele, a turncoat at best. I forget her name, and then Ilhan Omar. But let's hear their take on the shooting. I know it's going to be a fair and balanced one that will not be inflammatory at all.
As an elected official, you are on the ground with your folks and you appreciate this journey. I agree with the mayor. I'm not, the thoughts and prayers, I'm so beyond that nonsense, the lie of that. Because what we have are people who continue to stand in the way of actually doing something to stop the violence against their own kids. It is amazing to me.
Michael Steele, what do you propose we do? What do you propose we do? Because what it boils down to for a lot of the left, they just want to eliminate guns from society, but it's impossible because it's enshrined in the Constitution. It's our right. And we got, 300, 400 million guns out in the wild. What you going to do about that? Go door to door trying to confiscate guns? Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Guns are part of what has made our society what it is. It's part of our culture. And I don't know about y'all, but if I had any guns, not that I have any because they're at the bottom of the Tennessee River. Y'all might have seen some guns on stream, but those are prop guns. They're not real guns. That's prop. It's just toys. I don't got no guns. But if I had them, good luck finding them and good luck taking them.
We watch young kids die in classrooms and now in church. And all we get are thoughts and prayers. What, as an elected official?
All right. So that's Michael Steele again on MS-13 DNC, or what it's going to be MS Now pretty soon. Talking crazy. Okay. Now here is the mayor talking about, what did he say? He was talking about, first, let's defend the trans community. Hold on, before I go to the mayor, let me show you what Fox said. Let me show what Fox said, and then I'm going to go to the mayor, Jacob Fry. And remember, Jacob Fry was the one that was kneeling in front of George Floyd's casket crying when he got, when he died.
Really, honestly, Buck, across the board, written on these things, most in English, some, by the way, in Cyrillic, and he narrates it at times almost like the Joker in Batman, at other times like he's Gollum from Lord of the Rings. It's very disturbing.
Well, the connective tissue between all of this horrific stuff is that it is in line with left-wing ideology. And, you know, Will, in an earlier period of my life, I used to analyze jihadist terrorism and particularly work against what we call then homegrown and lone wolf jihadist threat. This is obviously very different from that in terms of the profile of the individual and the motivations behind it. But you apply the same analytic toolkit, if you will, to see who is this person and why did he or she, in this case he, do what he did. And what we can see here is this is a left-wing trans terrorist. This is somebody who was acting out against those that he perceived to be enemies of his ideology. Yes, of course, all the stuff about mental illness and being hateful and all of those things are true, but these things can be true simultaneously. In fact, we see this a lot of the time. Generally, if someone's willing to strap a suicide vest on or someone's willing to go into a church and shoot up a bunch of people, there's a lot of mental illness there, but there can also be an ideological spark for it. There can be ideological underpinnings. And this is not done in a vacuum, what we've just seen here. We had not long ago, people remember, another manifesto from another trans shooter in Nashville, Tennessee. And people recognize, I think, that there was an effort to keep that manifesto out of public view because of the politics around it.
So you get the idea of what's going on here. To all those who died, rest in peace. Prayers out to the family, all the injured, same thing. Hope you get well soon. Prayers out to your family as well. Traumatizing experience. And you know what I saw from the news? I ain't going to play it. They interviewed like a 10-year-old boy. They interviewed him after the shooting. He was talking about I had gunpowder in my hair. It's like, maybe I'm just missing something, but did we ever interview children after they were involved in the mass shooting? Like they were actually there and people that were right next to them got shot. Did we ever do that in the past? I'm not quite sure. But here's Jacob Fry talking about, hey, let's wrap our arms around the trans community. Okay, and again, this is the mayor of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
I have heard about a whole lot of hate that's being directed at our trans community. Anybody who is using this as an opportunity to villainize our trans community or any other community out there has lost their sense of common humanity.
All right, again, Jacob Fry, big strong guy. Now here he is talking about the whole thoughts and prayers situation.
And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church. These are kids that should be learning with their friends. They should be playing on the playground. They should be able to go to school or church in peace without the fear or risk of violence, and their parents should have the same kind of assurance.
So, what I think about, what's your opinion about thoughts and prayers? I mean, again, what else are you going to do aside from more security? You can't just wave a magic wand and eliminate all the guns. And even if you could do that, would that be a good solution? Because if you don't have guns, regular, everyday, hardworking American, then who has them? Somebody's going to have them. It's just not you. Law-abiding citizens will just become victims more than what they are already. You see, you have criminal elements in this country that are never going to go away. There's criminal elements all over the whole world. Some parts of this world, maybe they don't have mass shootings. However, a lot of these countries are being protected by the good old US of A. Okay, you only have no military. We are the military for your country over in Europe. For real. Like the NATO is pretty much a USA. Without us, there is no you. So you could say, oh, we don't have any guns, we don't have any mass shootings. Thanks to the United States, you are a relatively safe place. And you're a small island of like 20 million people. Cut it out. You're not very economically prosperous. You're not being invaded by hordes of people from all over the world. You're not having that problem. Like, these countries talking about it's safe here don't have thousands of people trying to break into their country on an hourly basis. Tens of thousands. Hordes of humans trying to break into the country every single day with drugs, guns, whatever you want, they got it. And you got the government, which can get kind of weird. We saw the government get crazy during C-19. It was kind of a test to see what's going to happen. Okay, let's just put them in, lock them down, give them some money, and see if they just take that. So if they want to go a step further and really restrict your rights, what you going to do to stop them? Nothing. Not at all. All right. Now, back to the whole transformer issue, because that can't really be ignored. The transformer issue is being accepted. It's being tolerated. It's being promoted. It's being just considered part of regular everyday life. Now, this is going to be in Portland, I believe. Yeah, this is a 400-meter varsity race for the girls in Portland, Oregon. Now, I'm going to play this, and you let me know if you're able to spot the male here.
Come on, Kelly!
Tell me how that's fair. I want anybody to sit there. Tell me how that's fair. Listen, hold on. Hold on. Just because someone says, hey, I'm a girl, I identify as a girl, does not make it so. And if they want to have that belief to themselves, knock yourself out. If you believe you're really a water buffalo, if you believe you're really a rain cloud in Saudi Arabia, that's totally fine. That's your prerogative. But when you interfere with others' rights, that's where we got a problem. That is unfair. You are a biological, obvious male dominating these girls. It's not right. Just because you feel a certain way on the inside does not mean it's okay for you to violate the rights of others. Furthermore, I think a lot of this is because they can't compete with the men. You cannot compete with the men. You are subpar at best, and we've seen this over and over again. Subpar men don't get to just make themselves be women and then compete against the women. If you want to be a subpar male, compete in junior varsity, compete on a smaller league, go to the YMCA and run against 80-year-old men and dominate that. Well, don't even do that, because you should just compete against those on the same page as you. A male who is not good enough to compete with the best, rather than going to the females. Let them compete amongst each other. The best natural woman will succeed in that. But it's unfair for you to be right here as a male. But yeah, hopefully you guys are able to spot the male. I know I know it was very difficult to identify the male in that video right there, but hopefully you guys were able to spot him. Or her, whatever the pronouns are. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Chicago. Shout out to Chicago. I'm going to do a compilation about Chicago as well when I get a few more videos. But Chicago, the black residents of Chicago are saying, hey, Trump, let's bring the guard out here as well. And can I say something right quick without being defensive? Can I say something real quick without you getting offended, without anybody getting offended? If you are offended, that's fine. It's okay. But I, for one, am about sick of these non-blacks, these Africans at best, biracials, Indians talking about these black issues as if they're black. Can we get some actual black people to talk about it? And the reason why I'm bringing up race is because they bring up the race. They say blacks need this, this, and this, but it's not really us talking. It's not us talking. It's one of them. They have no idea. Amanda Seals, all these people, Colin Kaepernick, all these people, they don't know nothing. The people on the ground are going to know more than those who just read a book and feel like they know everything. But my man right here is African, and he says, hey, you know what? The crime and violence is so bad in Chicago, I might have to go back home. Let's watch.
Hey, Trump, you need to bring the National Guards to Chicago, man. You got kids killing kids, man. That's not good, man. Washington, D.C. is not much going on compared to Chicago, man. I'm running. It's a war happening right now in Chicago, man. Hey, look, man. Look, go on the news, or go on Google, type Chicago. I'm going back home to Africa, man. I can't. Too much going on, man. In Chicago, man. Yeah.
So there we go. I mean, hey, my man going back, you say, you know what? I had enough. It's too much happening. Okay, my cousins, I got caught up with Justice Moye talking about it's mega country. You got these YNs out here shooting and thugging and drugging for no reason at all. I've had enough. I'm gonna have to go back home, or at least get up out Chicago. But I think it'd be good to go ahead and bring the guard down to Chicago and get some of that crime tightened up. Okay, we got more. Talking about leadership in Chicago being focused on politics rather than what's best for their constituents.
Chicago leaders are once again showing us that politics means more to them than protecting their own residents. Instead of welcoming help to save lives, they're busy denouncing Donald Trump's plan to bring in a National Guard. Attorney General Kwame says it's un-American and unwise, but what's more un-American? Federal help or the 581 murders Chicago saw in 2024? In just the first half of 2025, there have already been 192 murders. Residents are the ones that's suffering, not the politicians. Governor Pritzker calls Trump's plan an authoritarian power grab. He says there's no emergency. No emergency? Over 500 lives lost last year? That doesn't sound like business as usual or normal. Police can't do it all alone. Mayor Brandon Johnson says the plan is uncalled for and unsound. But what's really unsound? Accepting backup or downplaying a crisis that devastates families in Chicago every single day. Now here's the truth. If Chicago leaders care more about solutions rather than headlines, families won't still be paying the price. How many more excuses will we hear before they finally admit what's happening in Chicago is a crisis, is not acceptable, and leadership should not be rejecting help if they really cared about the residents?
Right on. Very well said. And one of the main things about these crime-ridden areas, you have to go hard on crime. You cannot be soft on these guys, slaps on the wrist, letting them out, zero cash bail. That all you're going to do is just allow the criminals to flourish. And the street guys understand what you're doing. The street guys get it. Hold on. I got another video here that kind of shows what I'm saying. There was a guy in DC who got he got arrested for carjacking, and he even admitted that the police do nothing. They arrest him and they pretty much let him go a short while afterward. I'm gonna find that video right quick. But shout out to you guys. If you like what you're hearing, y'all know what to do. Please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. There we go. Here it is. All right. Let me just throw this on the screen. And all right, can we do it this way? We'll do it live. Shout out Bill O'Reilly. Okay, let's get some sound. That might help.
3-day hold. Then once the 3-day
hold on.
You're gonna say we're gonna put him on a 3-day hold. Then once the 3-day hold is up, and the one who never shows up. I done been over DC jail 6 times for the same warrant. They never show up. DC jail has to release me. They release me. It's the same thing every time. The same thing every time. The judge is literally gonna say we're gonna put him on a 3-day hold. Then once the 3-day hold is up, and the one who never shows up. I done been over DC jail 6 times for the same warrant. They never show up. DC jail has to release me. They release me. It's the same thing every time. The same thing every time. The judge.
So a little bit of context. This guy is a carjacking suspect. He says every single time he gets put on a 3-day hold and then they release him. Every time. He's telling you this. He's telling you, hey, they don't hold us accountable. Even the criminals are telling you what's going on with the system. They're telling you what's going on. So and he's able to see the pattern. So he becomes emboldened. They keep releasing me. I'm going to keep on doing it because there's no penalty. Most they're going to do is give me 3 days. that becomes what they work on. The judges, I don't know what the plan is. I don't understand what the logic is. I don't know what they're thinking. Maybe they're thinking they're doing a good thing. Maybe little carjacker Jimmy is going to go get a job and be a good boy. Nah, he going to keep on carjacking because you're not punishing him for his crimes. Maybe if there was a stiff penalty, maybe if there was any kind of accountability, then he wouldn't keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again. And that guy right there is the exact guy we talk about all the time in the community. The consistent repeat offender, the high recidivizer. These guys need to get put up underneath the penitentiary, because if you don't do that to them, they're going to keep on doing what they're doing. It's very simple. I don't understand why that's not a thing that people talk about more. It's so weird. All right, so this is back in Chicago. Local residents talking about the crime and the violence and how they don't want it to be there. Okay, real people in Chicago.
The whole neighborhood is just sick of people coming into the neighborhood and acting like they can just come ravage your stores, take what they want to take, and then they try to make you feel like you're wrong for defending your property. The whole neighborhood is just sick of people coming into the neighborhood and acting like they can just come ravage your stores, take what they want to take, and then they try to make you feel like you're wrong for defending your property.
Exactly. Right on. Very well said. Let's keep moving here.
Brandon Johnson vowing legal action if National Guard troops are deployed to Chicago, saying the president is trying to sow division in Democratic-led cities.
What the president is claiming that he wants troops to do, they don't even have the authority to do it. They have no arresting powers.
The mayor responding to President Donald Trump, who said he'll be expanding National Guard deployments to cities other than Washington.
Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent, and we'll straighten that one out probably next. That'll be our next one after this.
The president's Oval Office comments come as Chicago police data shows overall crime since the first of the year is down 13% compared to the same period last year, and violent crime is down 23%.
I think he wants to provoke violence, because if he can provoke violence, then it's going to be martial law.
Turning the federal military on American citizens is a sign of authoritarianism.
The president claiming many in Chicago want the Guard.
Screaming for us to come. They're wearing red hats, just like this one. But they're wearing red hats. African-American ladies, beautiful ladies, are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago.
Thank you, President Donald Trump, for hearing us.
Zoe Lee and Daniel Carter Walters founded the conservative group Chicago Flips Red and says despite CPD's numbers, many don't feel safe.
And if the Democrat Party, only thing they can do to help us is tell us crime is down, then hey, we welcome the National Guard.
The president did not say exactly when he...
Because look, you can keep saying, okay, crime is down, but if the people of the community don't feel it, then it don't matter. Like, okay, you got these numbers, 13% decrease in violent crime. I mean, overall crime, a 23% decrease in violent crime. Okay, you could just cite those numbers, but my question is, okay, in what areas has crime gone down, and in what areas has crime remained the same, and what areas has crime increased? Because that's a real thing. If it's negligible in some of these areas in which crime is a problem, then it doesn't really matter now, does it? And what metrics are we using to measure crime? The people are telling you that there's a problem. You can't just say, oh, no, it's fine because crime is down. That's not how that really works. If you're struggling and everybody around you is struggling and they say, man, it's all good, you're like, well, why is like give me a little bit more than that. It can't just be that and you just dismiss me. See, that right there is your constituents being ignored. And that's not a very good thing. Not in the least bit. Now, we got a few more reactions from Chicago residents.
What's the average Chicagoan saying about these potential plans?
Well, a lot of people are very angry about this. They do not want the National Guard to come in to their city. But there's also people I spoke with who say that maybe that could help because the problem of crime is very real.
I think he needs to send them right away, like today, because it's just a lot going on, and it's like the people are against the police, so we need to bring
reinforcements in to establish law and order, because it's crazy out here. Yeah. Seriously.
If they're gonna say that crime is down, they need to start doing press conferences on my side of the city. I want for the Republicans and the Democrats to sit down and come up with a comprehensive, cohesive plan for American citizens. I want them both to stop the political theater.
Pause. Don't do this whole both sides thing, because the Democrats been in control of your area for forever, and this is the condition that we have. The issue with your area is the soft on crime policies coming from those who y'all put in office. That's the bottom line. If you had tougher crime policies, then you wouldn't have as much crime. So since your crime policies are lax, now we got to surge officers into your area, National Guard or whatever, just to increase security, just to improve security. But another way to improve security would be to lock those up who commit the crimes consistently and regularly. Like the guy showed earlier from DC talking about, they give me a 3-day hold whenever I get caught for carjacking, and then I'm released. If that's happening in your city, you got a problem.
And if that means bring our National Guard in for presence, then so be it, because we got to do something. Children are dying. And I think that the best way that I would say this is that when I went to New York and I saw the National Guard deployed in their subway systems because of people jumping the turnstile, those servicemen were nothing but kind, courteous, and respectful. And at first, I don't even think they had guns. So it's fear of the unknown, but it's what our party does. They don't do their job, and then they point at everybody else who's trying to help.
So my question is, why is that your party? Why do you claim it as your party, our party? Why do you claim it as your party if you can acknowledge that they don't do anything? They say they're going to do something. They say they're going to improve things, and there's no improvements. So why is that your party? I'm just trying to understand. Now, I'm not saying you got to just join the Republicans. I'm not a gang member. I'm not saying that, oh, if you're not with them, you're with them. But why do you say that that's your party when you are telling me how ineffective they are?
You got to stop that.
Well, there's crime all over. I mean, it's not just Chicago, it's all over. But I don't think it's something that deserves the National Guards being here. I think that's ridiculous, and I think it's all political.
It's not a good idea. We got police, so what are you sending the National Guard for?
Because the police are not enough, and your police got defunded, didn't you? Plus, y'all cut a lot of city funding in Chicago to pay for the migrants, didn't you? So clearly, y'all need some help. That's why the Guard is coming to help.
What are you sending the National Guard for? We got police and everything, so you don't need to send no National Guard. I guess Washington got worse. If you did it in Washington, crime must be worse in Washington and everything, you know.
All right, so there we go. So that's, again, out there in Chicago. What do y'all think? Should the Guard go there? Should the Guard not go there? Hold on. I got a song for y'all, okay? It's a little cringe, a little teeny bit, but the question, should the National Guard be deployed in Chicago? Yay or nay? I think this woman thinks that it shouldn't be happening, okay? Listen, I got sent this. I've seen it kind of floating around. Let's just check it out, shall we? And you see what it says here. Do not come to Chicago, all right? All righty, let's check it out.
Do not come to Chicago, sir. Do not come to Chicago. My God, the balls! My God, the balls. A Democrat from Illinois has got some balls. Governor J.B. Pritzker, he told the truth about the wannabe dictator. That's the phrase he used, wannabe dictator. Trump would hate that, right? Authoritarian creep. That's another one. He'd hate that too. Who makes up lies for the power he'll reap. It's not to make the country safe. It's not to fight crime. It's all about a power grab for Donald Trump in time.
Mamaw, really? Let's stop. Hey, I don't know where your grandkids at, but somebody please get Mamaw on phone and tell her to stop. This is just crazy. And you know what? Not only get her phone, But I need y'all to be monitoring her Facebook page, because who is she following? Is she following Colbert and these guys? Like, what's going on? Let's make sure that Mamaw is going to be okay in the golden years, rather than being on social media making songs about President Trump. And then for a while we're on beat and then we're off beat. So what do y'all think? Does she have the right idea? Don't come to Chicago because she said so. Don't come to Chicago because it's a power grab. It's political. What is your opinion about Mamaw's words? Let me know in the comments below. Okay. Hey, you can't make this internet stuff up. You can't make up what people do in their homes, on their phones and stuff like this. It's totally nuts. Exactly, Devin. Hippity hop. Hippity hoppity. Okay. There we go. Now, J.B. Pritzker, speaking about J.B. Pritzker, the guy that this young lady had praised. Here he is talking about how safe and beautiful Chicago is, while on a boat in the river right in front of a very familiar building, okay? Now, you might not recognize the building. You might not be able to see it right now, but you will. Just wait till the end. Check it out.
We're very pleased about the progress that we're making. I know that I live rent-free in the president's head, and I wish he would spend some time in Chicago so that he could see what a lovely city we have.
Governor, quick follow-up. What do you do if the National Guard is activated and comes here?
We're very pleased.
Wow, wait a minute. So look, wow, the camera pan is crazy. Oh yeah, Trump, come to Chicago. I'm rent-free in your head. Bro, you're in front of the Trump Tower in Chicago. Like, you're right there, bro. Look at this camera pan.
And I wish he would spend some time in Chicago so that he could see what a lovely city we have.
Governor, quick follow-up. What do you do if the National Guard is activated and comes here?
We're very...
So, yeah, if someone is living rent-free in someone's head, I don't think it's J.B. Pritzker in Trump's head. I think it's the other way around. Just maybe. What do y'all think? If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Hey, back up. The cameraman went all the way rogue, because the cameraman's hearing this like, for real. We're in front of the Trump Tower right here in Chicago. Like, it's right there. I'm going to just show that right quick. That's hilarious. Hey, cameraman, wherever you are, whoever you are, thank you, sir. You did this nation a service. I'll give you a thumbs up. Shout out to you. That's right, J. Bellew. Cameraman is MAGA all the way. Ultra MAGA, Super MAGA, Dark MAGA. Okay, goon. I ain't gonna say goon because I can't say that no more. I guess because the little kids took it over. But anyway, back in my day, we would say ski mask goon MAGA, but you can't say that no more because that's inappropriate. But anyway, now let's go to the mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson. Okay, Mayor Mohawk. How you got low cut with a mohawk is also low cut too. You got like a step, like a little small step. Like you have like, I don't know. Anyway, let's just watch some of this.
We cannot incarcerate our way out of violence. We've already tried that. And we've ended up with the largest prison population in the world without solving the problems of crime and violence. The addiction on jails and incarceration in this country, we have moved past that. It is racist, it is immoral, it is unholy, and it is not the way to drive violence down. We cannot return to the same failed strategies that got us here in the first place. Under the previous presidential administration, we requested more federal resources to address gun violence in our city. We continue to make that same call. We have made significant progress on our own, but there is so much more that we can do if we had real support from the federal government.
Let's pause. I recall, Mr. Johnson, you guys had a technology in a lot of these neighborhoods that have high crime and violence called ShotSpotter. I remember that? Do you guys remember ShotSpotter? Now, the way it works, if you don't know, is that when gunshots ring out, this technology hears the gunshots and it calls the police. Many black lives, especially, have been saved with ShotSpotter. But then Brandon Johnson cancels the contract because it's racist. Let me get this straight. You got a problem with crime and violence. You got a problem with gun violence. You have the technology to assist in reducing people that die from the gun violence, getting the cops out there so they can identify criminals easier. You have that technology and you say it's racist, yet you want more resources to fight gun violence. Well, what do you want? What do you want? What are you going to use that's not considered to be racist? You had something and then you just said, nah, we're not going to use that anymore. So I'm kind of confused here. What do you actually want? What do you think is going to work? I don't really understand. It's weird. It's totally weird. Now, this is interesting. We have the mayor of DC, Muriel Bowser, admitting that Trump is doing well and cleaning the nation's capital up, okay? And let's check this out right quick. Again, this is Mayor Muriel Bowser, mayor of Washington, D.C. Check it out.
And we greatly appreciate the surge of officers that enhance what MPD has been able to do in this city. The most significant thing that we are highlighting today is the area of crime that was most troubling for us in 2023. Now, we have driven it down over the last years, but I'm going to get my glasses so I can make sure I can see it correctly. But for carjackings, the difference between this period, this 20-day period of this federal surge and last year represents a 87% reduction in carjackings in Washington, D.C. We know that when carjackings go down, when the use of gun goes down, when homicide or robbery go down, neighborhoods feel safer and are safer. So this surge has been important to us for that reason.
There you go. There you go. So she's admitting, again, that's Muriel Bowser, the mayor of Washington, D.C., admitting that the surge is most certainly helping reduce crime, dropping carjackings 87%. You about to pretty much make carjacking a thing of the past. Why would anybody be against that? I don't really get it, because I guess the thought process from some people is you're militarizing these cities and they're going to brutalize regular people. Nah, people just want more security. People are tired of getting beat in the head, carjacked, kidnapped, shot. They're tired. Now, we got some people who think a little bit differently, okay? All right, we got some guys that say, oh, they're about to put us back in slave camps. Okay, let's just watch some of this.
We believe that the National Guard and the military occupation is the first step into rounding black people up and putting them in detainment camps here in Washington, D.C. and around the United States of America. We believe that.
Okay, so yeah, I'm not sure who we is, but we is not me. We does not include me. Maybe y'all on stage believe that. Maybe you believe in whatever they tell you on TV, talking about we about to get put back in chains. Ain't that what Joe Biden? They're going to put y'all back in chains. Maybe you believe them over there when they say that, but it doesn't make any sense. Again, people are being protected, and that's what we want. We voted to have this happen, to have crime be reduced, to have the illegal aliens get sent over there. We voted for this. Now we got another so-called protest in DC, and again, we have yet another protest in DC, and yet again we can play Where's Waldo? Find Walmart Martavius, find Jarquavion, find them.
The litmus test and how we respond in this moment will determine how this federal takeover will play out in other cities. At the wake of a threat. Why has Bowser allowed DC to be a playground for white gentrifiers and developers at the expense of the native population?
What? Did you just hear that? Wait a minute. Wait. Just one doggone minute. Am I hallucinating? Am I hearing stuff? Hold on. Let me go back.
made to be a playground for white gentrifiers and developers at the expense of the native population.
You're talking about the crowd that's in front of you. You're talking about yourself. White gentrifiers, that's you, ma'am. That's you and the people that's right there in front of you. My man right here is from the Ozarks somewhere, and he's living now in DC as a consultant, and he probably living somewhere in a rebuilt home in Southeast. Okay, right across from my aunt and them. Okay, right over there. Anacostia, okay, you want to rebuild that neck of the woods. I see y'all over there too. I see y'all with them new houses, them new builds. I see y'all over there. Y'all not low at all. At all. You're talking to them. See, there go that projection right there. It's projection.
So we say, DCAT, you say, fight back. DCAT, fight back. DCAT, fight back. DCAT, fight back. DCAT, fight back.
Now, I was asking y'all to find Walmartavius, to find Jarquavion. That's not quite a Walmartavius. That's more like, that's more like a Quentin or a Ralph. That's not really a Walmartavius, if you understand what I'm saying. That's like a Eric Holder. That's like a young Eric Holder, Barack Obama, one of them.
DCAT, fight back. DCAT. I said, let me hear y'all say, stick together. Stick together. When we talk about freeing DC and defending DC and all these things, we have to talk about the solutions.
We are the...
All right, there we go. So, hilarious. Yeah, Walmartavius did not manifest. That was, at best, his biracial cousin from Oxon Hill, Maryland, where Kilmar Abrego from. Anyway, now this might be kind of hard to hear, but you have a cop in DC, been on the job 28 years, having a discussion, if you will, with a liberal about the safety of the city and how things have improved. It might be a little hard to hear, but that's the general context. Check it out.
I've lived in my cousin 21 years. I've been an officer 28. I'm a son.
So if you guys couldn't hear that, first of all, the caption says the sergeant said the city has been safe for the past 2 weeks. The sergeant has been an officer for 28 years. Now, the guy from Iowa, again, corn shucker at best, comes to D.C. 21 years ago and then wants to tell the guy who's born and raised in D.C. and been a cop for 28 years that he knows more than him. See, that goes on quite a bit. You are from somewhere else. He born and raised here, a native. His grandma, I don't know, probably from D.C. He knows what's happening in the streets from being born and raised and being a cop 28 years. This guy thinks he knows it all and doesn't know much of anything. Okay, because when you living in certain parts of the city, we living on the west side of the city, I guess you would say. We living in like up there by Silver Spring and stuff like this. What's that, like Northwest? We living over there. You're not experiencing what's happening across the proverbial railroad track of the Anacostia River. You don't know what's going on over on the east. You have no clue. So you think the feds coming in is overkill because you have no idea what's really going on. You living in Frederick, Maryland or somewhere like this talking about, oh, it's racist for Trump to bring the troops to the high crime areas that I never go. You never ever go there, but somehow it's racist for Trump to try to fix it. You're not going to fix it. You don't even want to go over there. Trump fixes it and you got a problem. Stay over there. Stay over in Falls Church. Stay over in Silver Spring. Stay over in Annandale. Don't even worry about what's happening on the east side of the river. But yeah, shout out to the native residents of the area. And we got videos of the National Guard. So we got a video of the National Guard. This is a horrifying video. Terrible. Excruciating. Okay. They're out picking up trash, beautifying the city. How horrible. How horrible. Okay. I mean, this right here is so deplorable. I'm afraid. I don't know what I'm going to do. How am I going to sleep at night knowing that the guard are out here in uniform cleaning up parks in the nation's capital, beautifying the nation's capital? I mean, imagine that. Imagine that. So yeah, shout out to the guard out there in DC, making DC beautiful again, making DC safe again, making DC a tourist attraction again. Because you know what? I used to always go to D.C. I'm from Virginia, so D.C. is right there. I have more family in D.C. than anywhere else in the country, right in that area, in the city or in the surrounding area. So inside the city and outside in the, what they call it, the area, I got a lot of family in D.C. I've been eating mumbo sauce and all that. I know all about the culture, and I would go there a lot, but I've not been in years because it's just so bad. It's just so bad. You got regular crime and violence from the hood areas. Then on top of that, you got the Antifa, the homeless encampment type people, the white stinking liberals that come from all over the country that want to engage in violence, the George Soros funded people. Those people combined with the hood black folks who are committing crime to create a mega storm of crime. Regular black folks, regular white folks, regular folks of all colors in DC don't like it. They don't want it. And they want somebody to come fix it. So why is that a bad thing? It should be considered a good thing. Okay, now, to talk about ICE, they hit a whole neighborhood. Everybody gone in the whole neighborhood. So this kind of proves what I was talking about as far as if we have a housing shortage, how about we just do some deportations? All of a sudden, magically, we got more housing available. It's funny how that works. We don't have to build more housing necessarily if we could just deport and get housing back from those who were over here illegally.
All right, so a lot of people been asking, so let's go ahead and recap, and I'm gonna kind of let y'all know what they had told me. All right, so the other day I'm walking, I see a bunch of police cars. As y'all can see, there's some unmarked cars there too as well. So I'm curious. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. You know, I stop. You feel me? I keep the walking though, because you can't have them all up in your stuff too, chat, right? But I see him talking to people. You feel me? Okay, the next day I come through. Maybe 2 days later, and there's nobody here. The parking lots are empty because I'm wondering where my boy Juan at. You feel me? That's my dog. About to go see my homie. You feel me? I get to noticing like, man, ain't nobody here. So I start walking around. I'm like, dang, everything. You feel me? It just look like a ghost town. Now all the people that live here, they are Spanish. You feel me? They speak Spanish. You feel me? So I'm looking around, checking everything out. There's a fridge right there on the back of the patio. Empty parking lot. There's not a number on the door. It's like, man, a ghost town, right? So I know a lot of y'all had asked, you know, if there were things that were still inside of these homes. I didn't want to look into the windows, but I did see things on the patios. As you can see, the fridge down there too as well. And also I received this where Fairfield was basically saying that they're going to do firefighter training with these houses, and then they're going to destroy them and rebuild them. So that's pretty much the end of what I got from it, chat.
There you go. So there it is. And we've seen that quite a bit. A lot of these migrant housing, migrant facilities. We saw that in, what was that, Aurora, Colorado? We saw the exact same thing. So maybe you could get some, in this case, some land to build some houses. Hopefully they build some affordable stuff. You know what they want to do. Okay, let's tear this down and build some houses that cost $500,000. But the point is, you could just get back some housing, get back some land, get back some property if the illegal aliens are not here.
So
okay, now she's talking about how profound the cleanup is in Union Station. Now, I put out one video in my compilation video about the same issue with Union Station. This is somebody else. Like, I can do these videos every day because people are coming out and saying, we want this, thank you, we appreciate it. But there's some people who don't benefit from it, who don't really understand what's going on, who say that it's a bad thing. But let's hear from her.
So President Trump has not even had control over Washington, D.C. for 30 days. And I have on my For You page video after video showing D.C., specifically Union Station, and how clean and safe it is. People don't understand how big of a deal it is, specifically for Union Station, because there is a bridge, whether it's the bypass, it's either 95, 395, or 495, where the homeless, as well as people who are abusing drugs, as well as the drug dealers, they just squat. It's clean. It's all gone. This was also an underpass bridge where people would throw their wastes. So you would drive on the main road, and to the left and right of you is nothing but trash. It's all clean. People don't understand how big of a deal this is because the Capitol is right there within like a 6 or 7 minute walk. And then also local residents, they did not like walking there, whether in the daytime or the evening. Some people would take taxis just to avoid any type of encounters. And People have been talking about cleaning this up for a decade. And you mean to tell me President Trump hasn't even had control for 30 days and he cleaned it all up? So President Trump.
There you go. Solutions oriented. Solutions oriented. There's been talk about cleaning up Union Station for a decade or more, but it never gets done. Drug dealers, drug users, crazy people squatting right there, doing whatever they want to do, trash, human waste, whatever. Trump comes in a few days, cleans it all up. Everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. What's the problem? Now, they want to call him a dictator, right? So I think Trump addressed this. They want to call him a dictator. Let's see what he says about it.
So the line is that I'm a dictator, but I stop crime. So a lot of people say, you know, if that's the case, I'd rather have a dictator. But I'm not a dictator. I just know how to stop crime. So the line.
Now, people are hearing this and they say, oh, he wants to be a dictator. He even said it. It's like, nah, listen, I'm not a dictator. I'm just good at stopping crime. That's not just because I'm good at stopping crime and I do a thing that you don't like does not make me a dictator. You know, if someone is a dictator and you're really under fascism, whatever they want to call it, you wouldn't be able to be protesting like the white liberals were earlier, the white liberals and Jamal, the African at best. You were not able to be out there if there was true fascism, if he was a true dictator. Because a true dictator, you want to go like General Butt Naked, Idi Amin, something like in Africa, all of that protesting and carrying on, hooting and hollering, you would go ahead and you would just get chopped up immediately. It wouldn't even be no second guessing. Mao's China, same thing. They would just do away with you. Even right now, if you say the wrong thing in certain parts of the world, it's a wrap. Jamal Khashoggi, remember him, the journalist that was living in America with some like Saudi Arabia? Hey, talking crazy, talking too much. What we're going to do is take it to the embassy and slice and dice you right there. And anybody going to do nothing. That does not happen in the USA. You have freedom over here, at least for now. At least for now. Now, this woman seems to think that Trump is a fascist. He is a dictator. And what he's saying is serious when he mentions being a dictator, although he didn't say he wanted to be a dictator. He just said that people want me to do it. But let's watch this.
Trump supporters are the least patriotic people I've ever seen, and they do not want freedom. Trump said out of his own mouth, a lot of my supporters or whatever want me to be a dictator. He's already been acting like a dictator this entire time. They don't want a free country. They want a dictatorship. And the crazy thing is, I keep seeing a lot of people admit that, and that's horrifying. And again, if that wasn't the case, why would that come out of his mouth? It's funny because these people, their whole persona is like, America first, like we care about American freedoms and X, Y, and Z, but they don't. They don't care about freedoms. If they did, they wouldn't want a dictator. And Trump wouldn't recognize that they want a dictator. These are the same people who are on board with people going to jail for a year for burning an American flag. And I see person after person defending this, and that's why I'm convinced the whole FAFO thing isn't a reality for a lot of people, because I'm recognizing that a lot of these people will suffer and suffer and suffer, and they will still continue to support this man.
Okay, there's a lot there. First of all, the American flag. If you think that it's wrong for a person to go to jail for a year for burning the American flag, then it must also be wrong when people get in trouble for doing donuts on the LGBTQ LMNOP flag that gets painted on the ground, crosswalks or whatever. Okay, so you got to just say both of those are wrong. It can't be one is okay and the other one isn't. But beyond that, Trump being a dictator, you're just watching the news, watching too much TV, and letting them just brainwash you into whatever they want you to believe. Trump is not trying to be a dictator. People want to call him that because he's good at his job and they don't like what he does. What we, the people, want is for him to do his job well, which is keeping all of us safe. That's your job. Hey, you're the president. You're supposed to look out for your constituents. In a true dictatorship, it would not be about the constituents, really. It'd be about whatever the politicians want. We don't want that. We want what's best for us in the good old US of A. We care about freedom in this country, but we also have laws. You can't just do whatever you want to do. Freedom does not mean you could just take your clothes off at a movie theater and just use a bathroom right there on the floor during Spider-Man 2. You can't do that. You can't just do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it. We have more freedom here than anywhere else in the world, I would say. But it's not just a lawless society full of criminals being able to do whatever they want. And unfortunately, in some parts of the country, the leadership wants it to be a criminal free-for-all. They want to ban guns for the general population, but let the criminals keep them. We don't want unsafe streets. We don't want an unsafe country. That's all we ask for from our leaders, is to make that be a reality. Real simple. So yeah, shout out to her. I mean, at the end of the day, I think we're going in the right direction. And if she doesn't believe so, then what can I say? What can I do? There's not much I can do. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, these two fine gentlemen, I suppose, again, the genders, I don't know what's going on. Back in my day, here go old man shakes fist at cloud. Back in my day, I used to be able to tell a man from a woman immediately. Now, I'm like, I'm looking at the all the features. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So if I gotta do all that, I'm assuming you're a man. If I have to second guess myself, I'm not gonna take too much time trying to examine you. I'm gonna just say you're a man. And if I call a woman, a real woman, a man, I apologize. But it's not my fault. Anyway, let's hear from them talking about Palestine, shall we? All right, let's hear it.
I want to give a special shout out to all the queer and trans Palestinians. Not only are we honored to have you as part of our community, but Palestine is the moral compass of the world.
Thank you, Carl, for those wonderful words of wisdom. No notes. Islam has a deep tradition of trans ideology. As the Prophet Muhammad says in Hadith 1162, of all of the children of Allah, the most loved are the chicks with dicks. Is that right? Am I reading that right? That's a direct quote? Y'all are freaky. That can't be right.
Okay. Yeah. See, guys like this and his comrade, these are the kind of feminine males that can become a danger to society. Like the mass shooter. This is that same type. This is his ilk. Okay. Free Palestine and trans and queer and all that. That's what they on. That's the mental illness. Whenever I see this, I'm thinking you got a problem. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on in your mind, but I don't want to be nowhere near around you. Because when you finally snap, it's going to be real dangerous. It's going to just like Rampage Jackson. It's going to be real dangerous when you finally snap. So yeah, let's keep on moving here. This person says that all Americans are dumb, and I kind of agree. Not all Americans. I'm going to say there's a bunch of dumb Americans, but I don't think the dumb people are who she thinks they are. Let me get it on the screen right quick. And here we are.
Ever since I was a little kid, I have had a profound realization that Americans are just stupid. We are dumb. I would have these thoughts when I was in class talking to adults, and I was like, why are people so dumb? I still have this opinion now, and I'm 23 years old. I talk to people my age, they're dumb. I talk to older people, they're dumb. People in America are just stupid. I want to help.
Okay, hold on. I'm a little bit jumping ahead of time.
To older people, they're dumb. People in America are just stupid. I want to help raise the intellectual ability of every American here. I want to educate everybody. But it's like, I need political power or something. Like, put me in, chief. Like, I will be the president of the United States or some shit. I don't even believe in hierarchy. I need us to, like, re-evaluate the system of education. And it's not about the woke. It's not about any of that. Like, It's about just like not being dumb. Like everyone is so dumb. Ever since I was a
Okay, so there's a lot I want to say. First of all, I agree with the young lady that a lot of Americans are dumb, but I'm not quite sure it is who she thinks they actually are. Now, a lot of your leftists that say, we don't want to have the National Guard in D.C. because it's racist, that's a dumb person. Leftists who say, let's bring back an illegal alien who beat his wife, who human trafficked, who had some stuff on his phone that's not really right, okay. Let's bring back a gang member from being communicated from the country by being deported. Let's bring him back into the nation and try to protect him. That is the action of a dumb person. Those are the actions of dumb people. So maybe you're thinking about the MAGAs, right? The conservatives, right? We're the dumb ones. You say you don't even believe in hierarchy. How do you not believe in hierarchy? It's not really a thing to believe in. Saying you don't believe in hierarchy is like saying you don't believe in water. It's like, okay, you cannot believe that water is a real thing, but the majority of your body is water, so you got a problem. If you don't drink water after a certain period of time or eat food that contains water, it's going to be a problem. Okay, you're going to be dehydrated, mess around and die without having water in your body. Moral of the story is, I think you're correct when you say a lot of Americans are dumb, but it's not who you think it is. So what do y'all think? Do you think that a lot of Americans are dumb? I always cite the movie Idiocracy. And if you have not seen Idiocracy, please do it. I mean, just do it. It should be on YouTube somewhere. I don't know where it's at. If you got to pay $1 to watch it, just do it, man. And if you can, purchase the movie and watch it every now and again. You know what I watch every now and again? I watch ESPN 30 for 30 Broke. That's a really good one, talking about athletes losing money and how to manage it. And the ways they lose money, not just from spending, but from having a bunch of kids and getting divorced and all kinds of stuff. Black, white, everybody has the same kind of experience. That was a good documentary from ESPN back in the day. And also, I watch Idiocracy every now and again, just to show how far humans can actually slip in intellectual capability and what society is like ruled by humans who don't have the intellectual power they should. All right. Now, this is going to be Pastor John Amanchukwu. You may have seen him go to school board meetings and read some of these crazy books that they have in the library, and he always gets kicked out. My thing is, why are you kicking my man out when he's just reading what you have in your library? If it is inappropriate for him to read it at a school board meeting, then it's inappropriate to be in the library. Anyway, so let me just show him right quick. My Nigerian brother, Mr. Amanchukwu, importer, exporter. Okay, hold on. Let's watch.
I'm at Union Station, and we've met so many wonderful people, and every time I just breathe in and breathe out, I just feel safer now, because the National Guard is here. I just feel safe, man.
So let's go back. This is Union Station. Let me just play it from the top so you could just bask in the glory that is Union Station under President Trump's control.
I'm at Union Station, and we've met so many wonderful people, and every time I just breathe in and breathe out, I just feel safer now, because the National Guard is here. I just feel safe, man. This lady, is that a chicken on her head? I mean, I can't make this stuff up, man. I can't make it up.
So these are some of the individuals I played in my previous video where the woman was like, they have that mental health crisis look. Yeah. Okay. You're wearing a chicken on top of your head. That right there kind of gives you a clue to her mental state, but I digress.
Can't make it up. Can I ask you some questions? First and foremost, do you trust the government?
No.
Why don't you trust the government?
I don't trust the government because they've done a lot of untrustworthiness things. Yeah. Looking at some of them right now, the National Guard who are unlawfully here. Usually if there are places that have more crime, I think it's because of over policing and underfunding.
Oh my God. I hate That's narrative. Ain't no such thing as over policing. Places where there's high police presence is because it's needed. When you don't live there, see, I'm from there. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be in a drug infested environment, a crime infested environment, to hear shooting every night. I know what that's like. People that are not from there, these carpetbaggers, white liberals, whatever she is, from Iowa, again, corn shucking at best, you want to come to DC and don't even go across Anacostia and act like you know what the solution is to the problem of crime. You have no idea what's going on. And you're out here commiserating with these dope fiends who are going to commit crime as well. But you don't see it that way. You see it as they're somehow freedom fighters. But I digress.
See, there's no crime happening here, so they are just here for optics.
You said over policing
Yes.
and underfunding.
The underfunding aspect of it is the underfunding in the communities. Education will be underfunded.
A lie. Do you know that Baltimore Public Schools, for example, I know that's not Baltimore and DC, but close enough, it's right there, 45 minutes, hour away. Baltimore Public Schools has some of the most well-funded schools in the nation. I said that on Jubilee. Baltimore has some of the most well-funded schools in the nation. And it's not just for the white kids, it's for the black kids, everybody. But yet, a lot of these black kids are graduating without the ability to read. Money has nothing to do with it. Money will not cause a parent to send their kids to school and make sure they go. Money would not cause a parent to read the kid's report card and hold them accountable if they get bad grades. The issue with the community are the people themselves who refuse to participate properly in society. You could give them everything that they need, but what are they going to do with it? Also, who's going to want to go to these places and teach these kids? You're not going to get the best of the best teachers to even go there. It don't matter how much money you spend, unless you want to spend like some kind of ungodly amount of money. But even then, you still got to have the parents that are on board and the kids as well. I always say the money ain't the problem. It don't cost money to teach kids what 1 + 1 is. When I was a little kid, I went to a Christian preschool in the hood, and I learned a lot right there at that Christian preschool. It's probably like 12 of us sitting in a little circle right there on the floor, learning how to say grace and all kind of stuff right there. It don't take that much money. I'm getting triggered, so I'm gonna just keep on going.
People will not be paid well enough to sustain a livelihood, and then they will, it will result in crime.
Why so much anger?
No, I don't think the language that we use is necessarily angry. You did.
That's wrong, man. Hey, man, I'm using proper language. I think you should as well. I'm not going to disrespect you, man. What is fascism?
You have no control over the structures around you. They control everything. They can pick you up from, the streets with no identification, with masked up. They kidnap people, masked people taking brown people away. So
brown people.
Yes.
Brown as me?
Immigrants. Yeah.
Brown as black people?
Yeah. I've seen black people taken away right out in front of here. This is now a little bit of a disingenuous conversation from a right-wing Christian radical. So I'm going to bow out. Thanks, man.
Our President Trump, what would it be? What areas would you tell him to focus on? What would you say to him?
I have no desire to meet Donald Trump.
Debbie, you have been trained well.
You know what? Much like the gays, I was born with it.
I'm loving this level of pivot. You are a well-trained agitator.
Yeah, that's pretty much them. That's how they are out there in DC. A lot of these flown in people, busting people, dope fiends, people looking for their next high, just out there causing the ruckus. That's what's going on. She's cute, deaf, and okay, go ahead, get her. You can mess around and be on TV. He assaulted me anyway. Let's keep going. So this is going to be the HUD secretary being asked about the 2-year restriction on Section 8. Remember that? So there's a proposal. I'm not quite sure if it's gone through yet to limit Section 8 to 2 years for those who are able-bodied Americans. We ain't talking about disabled people or senior citizens. I know I'm going to get a call talking about that, not listening to what I said at all, just getting offended. But let's watch this here. All right, let's check it out. Again, this is about HUD and the 2-year limit for Section 8 for able-bodied Americans.
I was curious about some of the time limits on housing assistance. This is, housing that's already built that impacts millions of Americans. You spoke a little bit that some of the concern there was fraud, but I was wondering if there's, any worry about, you could be pushing out families who are dependent on these HUD programs that, this is really the only avenue they have to get housing.
You talking about the proposed time limits?
Yeah, that's right.
And what is your question?
Just if there's any concern about whether you're going to be pushing out families that need that.
No, there's no concern at all. Government subsidies were never meant to be a lifestyle. Have you ever met somebody that live in government housing? Personally?
I don't know if I've asked. But.
I mean, hundreds of people.
And now that was a really good question. Have you ever met someone living in government housing? And
around the country?
Then the answer is no, of course. The answer is no, but let me just back up a little bit.
Have you ever met somebody that live in government housing? Personally?
I don't know if I've asked. But.
I mean, hundreds of people around our country. Government subsidies were never meant to be a hammock. They're meant to be a trampoline. We're always going to have people in our nation that need help. And we understand that from the heart of HUD. We understand that we'll have these people. I met a young lady in a certain city in our country that's been living in a certain housing project, which was deplorable. She's 52 years old. She's been living there since 1953. She's 52 years old. She's been living there since 1973. She's able-bodied, able-minded. She was raised there. She lived there. Now she's raising her children there. There's 3 generations living in government subsidies that are able-bodied, able-minded.
Didn't I say that in the short video? I said that it'd be the grandmama and the mama and the daughter with her kids all in one building, all in one, just you're keeping people permanently underclass, permanent. They're never able to rise above that. But they're able-bodied in America, so they should be able to. But when you incentivize them not to, then often they take that and just stay with it.
That's not the way that our government and our country is supposed to be. And so when you talk about time limits are kind of an encouragement. It's like, hey, you can do this. Now remember, we're talking about able-bodied, able-minded people, not seniors, not the disabled. People who are able to work, people who have the ability to work, people who have the mental acuity to work and look for work, right? When you change the trajectory of someone's future by saying, you know what, we're not just telling you to work, we're going to have workforce training around you. We're going to have skill training around you to get out of government subsidies to live a life of self-sustainability. This is not Democrat, it's not Republican. Poverty has no party. You understand? Poverty is not red, it's not blue, it's not black, it's not white. It impacts everyone, indirectly or directly. So my heart, the president's heart, Senator Crapo's heart is this: how do we help able-bodied people change the conversation and say, you know what, you can do it. This is not political. This is, you know what, you can. So we're going to put time limits on here and help you to traject out of poverty, out of government subsidy to a life of self-sustainability. That's the heart behind this. Go and research Bill Clinton's bill 1996 when they did real welfare reform.
I was just going to
bring you remember that? You don't remember, you're too young.
Right on. So again, this is the HUD Secretary, Scott Turner. Okay. Very, very well said. I said the exact same thing before. This is what, if you know anything about project areas, government assistance, Section 8, you know what it does to people. It incentivizes them to just stay on it forever. Now, I know that sometimes people get into a hard space and might need a little bit of a helping hand. But like you said, it's not meant to be a hammock. It's meant to be a trampoline. It's meant to spring you up, to get you a lift up, not to keep you comfortable being down. That's not what it's there for. And 2 years is a long time. And if you can't get it together as an able-bodied American in 2 years, then I don't know what you're doing. Okay. I'm not quite sure what you're doing. Now, look, check it out. So this woman had some construction happening around her neighborhood. Well, the construction was happening in that Walmart. And she's like, okay, what are they building at the Walmart? Like, what are they trying to add at the Walmart? And now she has figured out what they put right there. Check it out.
Guys, I kept wondering what my Walmart was building because they have like some weird stuff and now they have signs up. Check this out. Who needs a delivery person when they're gonna have a little airplane thingy majiggy flying your stuff to your house? Look at that. Super cool. Look at that. They even have a little bitty one inside the store. What traffic.
So there you go. The Walmart drones. Okay, that's probably a life-size version right there. It probably won't be too much bigger than that. So no traffic. You get your cargo in minutes. Now, what y'all think about that? These little baby planes delivering packages. My question is, are they equipped with cameras? Of course they got cameras on it. So you're talking about a surveillance state. Oh my goodness. You got these big logs roaming around, UFOs. I don't know. We're going to see, man, because some of these might get shot out of the sky. If you shoot one of these out of the sky, what's going to happen? It's got cameras on it, and they're going to see you, and they're going to know where it came from. When you get a knock at your door from the police, if you shoot one of these down, what's going to happen? And would y'all want your delivery to come on one of these? Let's see if I can get a better picture. Would you want your delivery to come on one of these thingamajigs from Wally World? Now, me, I don't get food or I don't get things like this delivered to my house. Like I don't get items from Walmart sent to my house. I will order things on Amazon, but that's only if I can't find it in the store. If I can go to the store and buy it in person, I'll do it. Unless it's like super duper cheaper online, like way cheaper online. But normally I'm gonna go to the actual store. Yeah, what do y'all think? Good thing, bad thing? Y'all saying no. You walk to your store, hey, that's smart. If my Walmart was near me and walkable, I definitely would walk there for sure. Absolutely. All right, so this guy bought a house for X amount. He put Y amount into it, and now he owes Z when it comes to taxes. Now, he's upset about this, but I kind of want to give my opinion after he says what he has to say. Okay, check it out.
This place for a little over 130K. It was.
Let me start from the top. Pardon me.
Bought this place for a little over 130K. It was complete fucking dump, inside and out. Since I have purchased it, I've put about 120,000 cash into it. Well, they come along and reassess it. My taxes are gonna triple. And I did all that work on my own. I busted my ass. Inside and out, landscaping, fucking roof, gutted half the place. It's getting to the point where I can't even afford to live in a house that I bought almost 15 years ago. The price of everything has doubled. Vehicles, double. You know the deal. Groceries, double. Insurances, double. Including vehicle insurance. Bought this place.
Now, my question is, where you living at? Because you might need to go to a place that's a little bit more friendly on the taxes. But of course, when you upgrade your home, when you put things into it that increase the value, you're going to get reassessed, and you may owe more you may owe more property tax. Okay, that's just part of what it is. Now, again, where do you live at? Because you may be able to get some kind of relief depending upon what state you're in. If you're in Georgia, this tree looks kind of familiar. If you're in Georgia, maybe if you're in Florida, you might be better. But if you're in Georgia, you're gonna have to pay your personal property tax plus your state income tax and your federal income tax plus other taxes that you may have with a business. Sales tax, this tax, that tax. Okay, firstborn tax, first shoe tax, first elbow tax, all the taxes you got to pay. You want to go to a place with minimal taxes, so your overall tax burden is not going to be too high and too unaffordable. That'd be my advice. But yes, if you make improvements to your home, they will reassess it and you will get a new tax bill because you got a more valuable home. That's unfortunately just what it is. So if you want to avoid that, then you got to be careful with your renovations and be careful what you do that may cause your home to be worth more money. Okay, so that's just what it is. It's 1032 said it. It says, I bet he wouldn't say that if he's going to sell it for more than what he bought. Exactly. Also, if you want to be a homeowner, look, it's not for everybody because it could be expensive. Them taxes, renovations, this and that. You never know what's going on. Something might break down. You got to get a new roof, HVAC, furnace, stove. All this stuff is expensive and it can cost when you don't expect it. And if you can't really afford that, then you might not want to buy a home until you can afford it. Save enough money and then have enough money reserved just for any kind of fluctuations, any kind of unforeseen circumstance. Okay, people talking about Weimar America. How is it like Weimar Republic? This ain't like Weimar at all. If anybody says it's Weimar, please explain to me how it's like Weimar in the comments. Now, this woman right here is gonna tell a good story about Section 8 and how the people who were requesting to use Section 8 did not look like they needed it.
I'm trying to say this with a level of diplomacy, but I'm just asking a question. I just went to show a rental because September 1st is around the corner, right? So the people fill out an application. So today was open house day. And this one couple came. An older model Range Rover, all the things, the Louis shoes, the Prada bag, the bust down middle part, all the way down to her ankles, the iPhone 99, the watches, the rings, the everything. And then she says to me, do you accept Section 8?
Pause. You have all the things, all the hair weave, all the designer clothes, the nice, expensive for no reason vehicle, Range Rover, all the things. But then you say, hey, do you guys accept Section 8 for this housing? You see why we talk about people need to get off of these programs because they're just taking advantage of it and they're abusing it. But I digress.
Do you accept Section 8? Now, to be honest and fair with you, I don't have a problem accepting Section 8, except there's some properties I reserve to not create voucher incentives because I don't want to go through the inspection process. I don't do bureaucracy at all. Some of y'all know me. I don't do bureaucracy. But it was, even whether or not, because I know some of y'all are ready with your thumbs, it was probably fake. That's not the point. The point is that you have every label on your back. And then wanting, all right, some of you understood that sentence fully. And that was the last showing for the day. And it just behooved me because you want $65 rent, but you... And I just said to myself, this has got to be a dream. No way in the world did you drive your ass over here in your luxury car, your luxury used car. Because for some reason, poor people just love a luxury used car, boy. With all your foreign handbag and your luxury this and the Stanley Cup in your hand. And then you just ask me if I would be willing to become...
You know what? Hey, your frustration is how I feel with a lot of these people that abuse the system. All the designer things, expensive cars, if you didn't have that, and you just spent money like a regular person, spent wisely, maybe you could afford rent without having to get on Section 8. So I'm glad she did not give that property to the person and let them use Section 8. I'm glad she didn't do that. So shout out to her. Your frustration right here in this freeze frame is exactly the way that I feel dealing with these humans. So shout out to you. Very good. Hey, and they have no shame in it. Because they feel like it's just regular. They feel like it's just okay. Yeah, let me just rely on that. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It is totally fine. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. They're probably scammers. Probably so. Probably so. I wouldn't doubt it. Not in the least bit. Because that's just kind of how they operate. All right. Let me show some of this right here. Hold on. All right. I think I want to show this. So we got rich kids. What are they doing at work? Where are they going to work? Where are the rich kids going to go to work? Like when they graduate, like what are they going to do? And RIP to the headphone users in advance.
Today are not going to work on Wall Street, and they're not going to work in consulting like for the big four. They're also not going on to get MBAs. In fact, what rich kids are doing is they're finding any way that they can to break into the top 1% of tech companies. And all of those best tech companies, the top 500 tech companies, they all have AI solutions. They're all selling AI products. And a lot of these rich kids are not super technical. They don't know how to code. They didn't go to an Ivy League. In fact, some of them are going straight out of high school into these top tech companies. And the way that I've seen most people do this is by getting into tech sales. And there's so many BDR and SDR job openings in the tech sales industry. And rich kids, what they see is that they want to get onto a rising, they want to get onto the companies that have these rocket ship career trajectories. They're figuring out any way to do that so they can work in AI instead of getting disrupted by it. And so tech sales is a great way to do it because these BDR, SDR jobs, they pay immediately at least 70K to 110K, somewhere in that range.
Let's pause. Now, that sounds very encouraging, and there's quite a few jobs in tech, in like sales, selling AI. But I got a friend, and shout out to you if you're watching. I have a friend who does that, and it is a very, very high stress job. A lot of startups. It's kind of a bubble, to be totally honest with you. But you can make a lot of money, but they're gonna stress you hard, a lot. But again, as I said before, there's no money to be made in this country when you're making a lot of money, especially, that's going to come super easy. I mean, you can make some money very easily. Like if you want to go flip burgers at McDonald's, that's going to be pretty easy money. But you want to be working in tech sales, selling AI, and a very competitive and speculative market, good luck.
And then they quickly get promoted at the 10-month or 15-month mark. These kids are getting promoted into account executive roles where they can work remote, they can travel the world, they can make multiple six figures, and they can talk to people all day. They get to communicate, they get to sell products that they really believe in and love. And that's a lot of fun. It's really exciting and fun to sell a product that you believe in. And so if you're trying to figure out what career to go into, don't get stuck working in a hospital as a doctor. I'm glad that people do it, but I don't think you want to be working nights and weekends for the rest of your life.
Okay, there's more, but he's talking about, trying to get into tech sales. He might be a recruiter. That's funny. Shout out to the recruiters out there. But my man right here is talking about how it's kind of a bubble. Remember the .com bubble? Remember that? It's kind of like that, but on steroids. Because to be totally honest, AI, people are kind of scared about AI, but AI is not anywhere near what human intelligence is. It's not anywhere near what you are as a human. You are so much more than just remembering things. You are so more than just being trained to do tasks. A machine could be trained to do tasks. A machine could be trained to learn, but a machine cannot be trained to love, to feel, to have intuition, to feel danger, to feel safe. You can't, we're not nowhere near that at all. All right, let's watch some of this.
I was always really jealous of people who got to live through the .com bubble. If only I was 15 years older, I also could have put radio on the internet and become a billionaire. Luckily for you and me, I think we might actually be in an even greater bubble right now. There is no ceiling for how high the AI hype can go. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing multiple Gen Z billionaires the next couple of years. AI researchers are effectively the hottest commodity in the entire world right now. $1 million salaries are not unheard of, and there are even people making hundreds of millions of dollars, like literally $100 million a year. This could be the defining moment of humanity. Don't miss your chance to be part of it. I was always
right on. So yeah, AI is fire truck red hot right now, but it's a bubble. It's a bubble. It really is. There's a lot of hype around it, but it's a bubble ultimately. Okay. But there are some things like the internet is still a thing. We all use internet right now, so it's a thing that we use. But a lot of there were so many companies that came about during the .com bubble. It's, and the bubble bursted for a lot of them. But right now, during the AI surge, there's going to be a lot that comes out of this that we use in the future consistently, but a lot we don't use. Chat GPT, stuff like that. Chat GPT, like there was one kid that deleted himself because Chat GPT said so, but Chat GPT, a lot of these bots like that, they're going to give you whatever you give it. And if you give it garbage, it's going to give you garbage back. And it's kind of a sycophant. It's like a brown noser. Whatever you feed into it is going to give you back. If you talk to the machine a certain kind of way, it'll adapt to whatever you're doing, because again, this is not real. This is artificial. It's not real intelligence. It's artificial. And you are training it to respond to you how you see fit. That's what this is. Okay, hold on. Now, speaking about GPT, did I have a video about that? I did.
If I was a betting man, I would bet that in 2025 fall semester chat.
Let me start from the top. This is about them potentially banning ChatGPT from college.
If I was a betting man, I would bet that in 2025 fall semester ChatGPT gets banned in college, and here's why. Because I'm a TA. I'm currently grading a summer paper right now, and they have us using this new tool called the Watch Writing Report from GPT-0. It basically pulls up your entire paper, shows a timestamp of every paste, every edit in the paper, and then when you come over here, it shows how long it took to write the paper, how many words are in the paper, the timestamp of when the paper was submitted in Google Docs, and then a typing analysis to show if the paper sounds unnatural or natural. This one's 23% natural because of the pastes, errors, and lack of effort. If I was a betting man, I would bet that.
So what do y'all think about that? And a lot of these tools they're using is crazy, because you're using AI tools to check what AI is doing. Basically, it's like are you human test? Are you copying and pasting? Are you really writing this yourself? Okay, that's a thing that's going on. And I think in the past, this might have been an issue as well, people cheating and whatnot on their papers, using, back in the day, Wikipedia, stuff like this. And now they're using a little bit more of an advanced version of the same thing that people did back in the day, which just copy Wikipedia, copy and paste articles they found on Google. It's the same thing, just a different day, a more efficient way to try and cheat. But I don't really like to use stuff like that, GPT, all of that. I use AI when I do my videos with captions. I got a program. I have an app. I just load my video into the app, and it gives me auto captions. All I got to do is just check it, just to make sure it's right. But I'm not going to sit there and caption word by word the entire video. It's going to do auto captions. All I got to do is proofread it. I use not GPT. I use AI like Venice, Meta AI, Grok to produce images sometimes for thumbnails. Things like that I use it for, but I'm not trying to write a research paper, because the whole point of a paper is you need to have researched and read up on what you're writing about, so you're able to report what you learned, not what you can ask ChatGPT to write for you. Okay, that's the whole point of a research paper. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Hold on, Devin says, I make AI music about 100 tracks in. And you know what, Devin, that's what I want to do, is use some AI to make music. Devin, if you make AI music, send me some stuff, man. I'm being so serious. Contact@anthonyblogan.com or send it to me on my Twitter. And if you want to share your process, let me know something, because I had an idea and I wanted to do some music with AI. It'd be good for that purpose, just to help you with, just like, okay, at one point you had only live instrumentation, and you still have that. People still do live instrumentation in music, but then here comes the computer. You got these programs. You got Fruity Loops. You got Pro Tools. You got all kind of stuff to be able to make music just using technology. Back in the day, fun fact about me, before I get to some calls and super chats, back in the day when I was selling CDs and DVDs, I will also take requests to do chopped and screw, if you know what that is. So if there was a album, let's say, for example, Jay-Z, Paul Wall, whatever it was back in the day, if somebody wanted to chop and screw, I can do that with my programs on my computer and sell those as like mixtapes, $10 a piece for chopped and screwed mixtapes. So now 2025, I got AI. I can just make a whole track with the AI. But if I did that, I would most certainly label it as what it was. I wouldn't try to say that it was not that. Although, when you listen to a lot of this music on the radio, TikTok, if you listen to that brain rot, mostly all of that is produced with pushing buttons. It's not live instrumentation at all. And maybe they're gonna do a live version if they perform it live, but a lot of times all they're gonna do is just play the music from their phone basically, or whatever, and just have that be playing through the speakers as they sing rap along to it. It's not really a band much anymore. You thought it was called rap? Listen, a lot of your pop is done like this. All music is done like this. Pop, country, rap, R&B, whatever. There are very few live bands that play instruments anymore with popular music, especially. NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, a lot of that. Justin Timberlake was produced by Timbaland. Okay, right in Virginia Beach. Like, I remember when he used to be out there in Virginia Beach with Timbaland. That's just straight up, studio pushing buttons. One Direction, It's Too Late to Paul Timbaland pushing buttons. All of that is the same way. It's not about a rap thing. I saw your comment. You're funny. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Super chats on deck. I'm going to read these. Then I'm going to get to some calls. And the number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Peter's Warhead vid says, nothing, but thank you for becoming an ABL supporter. Shout out to you. Thank you to Ambrose T, who says, keep on keeping on, brother. Prayers out to all the victims and all that are impacted by the horrible event. Absolutely. 100%. Thank you to Vinko, who says, just wanted to say thank you for reporting in truth. You've earned my subscription. Shout out to you, boss. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to Mauricio91, who says Trump has done more for black people than the KKK Democrats ever have. Trump has done it so easily. We can only take away that Democrats never even tried. Facts. Facts, facts, facts. Thank you to It's Lanita, who says, I was a pre-auth rep for a sex reassignment surgery team. Those patients have severe mental health issues. They often unalive themselves after they switch doctor parts. Exactly. Because what kind of man would want to chop his stuff off? You got to be a little bit crazy upstairs. You got to be a little bit crazy upstairs. I don't even want to get hit in that region. I don't even want to get nobody to, elbow me or nothing in that region. I'm going to be double over in pain. So why would I want somebody to go ahead and just slice and dice that? You got to be a little bit crazy, really a lot of bit crazy to go do something like that. But anyway, thank you to West B Plan, who says, where I live, there's a ton of really nice apartment complexes. Problem is their income base, so rent ends up about 3/4 of your income. Make over threshold, you can't live there. Well, yeah, that's how it is in a lot of these places. These income control. I was in spots like that when I was younger. My spot when I was in Virginia was like that. It was kind of income controlled, but then it wasn't. It was weird. It was kind of a mix. You had Section 8, you had income control. It was a little bit of everything. And I remember people lived in projects who made so much money, they were paying what it would cost for a regular apartment because it went off of their income. You could live there, but you would just pay a certain percentage of your income. And he made so much money, more than what you should if you lived there. He was paying like $1,000 for a project apartment. Again, people need to be able to use these places to get themselves on their feet. And once they get on their feet, it's time to move forward. It can't just be, like my man said, it can't just be a hammock. It needs to be a trampoline. All righty. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Let's get to some calls. Again, the number to call, 706-406. There it is, 706-406-3287. The number is always in the description. And also a ticker below me in the video right here. Check it out. All right. And thank you guys again for being here. You guys are the best. And the phone lines are open, 706-406-3287. Power Ranger says, problem is really rent. So I need to be excused. I always wondered this as a kid in the U.S. Now I'm hateful because it's becoming a problem, and I was going to help a buddy of mine until I was attacked. Well, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Hopefully everything's good. Hopefully everything's good. You don't got to, fight nobody now. All right, let's go to unknown caller on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Robert.
All righty, what's going on?
Nothing much. I talked to you about a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about school and whatnot. So I just started back school today. Was the first day. So I'm in a master's program, and talking about like the chat GBT thing. I mean, it's crazy because the class that I'm in, it's literally nothing but writing. So it's like, why go to college if you can't do that work? Because I mean, a lot of it's not even that hard. Like when he was explaining, what we're going to be doing, because we're going to be also teaching or facilitating some of the class. But I mean, it seemed too easy.
Yeah, but see, people, they just want to get the shortcut. They want to try to, I guess, get good grades by any means, and they're not really learning anything. And that's going to be a problem, of course.
Yeah, like I said, I just got a class, so I don't really know what y'all talked about. But before I went to class, I was watching some other videos from other people about like what some of these Democrats are saying about what happened, in the school in Minnesota. And I don't know, I think it's just deplorable, like how Dana Bash from CNN, she's telling people there's no time right now for prayers and hope and prayers right now. It's like, why are you saying that? And then you had like the mayor of that town talking about, we shouldn't be, being mean or discouraging, the LGBTQ or the trans person. It's like, why do we care about that person? And I don't care if you're trans or gay or any of that stuff, but why should I care about that person who killed and hurt a bunch of little kids? I don't give two craps about that person.
Exactly. Same here. And they're really weird with that, because they think that us pointing out the fact that this is a transgender person, there's been a pattern of that, they think it's some kind of attack against them. It's like, whatever you want to call it, it's just a reality. Ain't no sense in me sitting here lying because you're offended at the truth. The truth is always the truth, regardless of who likes it or who doesn't.
Yeah. One other thing, so like with the Cracker Barrel, I know you talked about that, I think, Saturday. I was going to call, but I was like, I don't really feel like it. But one thing that a lot of those Democrats, like that person, they all have one thing in common. Like if you look at Rosie O'Donnell, Pencil Neck, Rachel Maddow, and people like that, they all wear those same black glasses.
They do, and it's like, I also wear black glasses, so it's like I kind of get lumped in, but it's like, nah, man, I got to just get a different fashion statement because the black glasses are mine.
Yeah. Well, all right, man, that's all I had.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
All right, shout out to the caller. And I saw a comment about Raja Jackson. If that person who sent the comment, I'm not sure who sent it. I kind of glanced at it. If you want to call in, call me and ask me about Raja. It's totally fine. I didn't talk about him tonight because I was just by the time 10:30 came, it was already over with. Hey man, yeah, the black glasses, that's right, Spirit and Nine. Hey, Spirit, we got the black glasses. That's our thing. That's not these weirdos thing. I don't want to get lumped into people like Rachel Maddow, aka Peyton Manning, okay, with the black frame glasses. I don't want to get put in that category at all. But if you guys like what you're hearing so far, you know what to do. And the number to call is 706-406-3287. The number is always in the description, the ticker, and thank you, Sheree, for posting it right there in the comments as well. Yeah, Dana Bash, all these people, I'm good. I'm good on them completely. JB says, I wear black glasses because ABL wears black glasses. I don't even need or wear them. Shout out to you. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for all that you do. But speaking about Raja, since I'm having a lot of calls right now. Raja just needs to understand how to control himself, because when you are, and I made a video about this on my Instagram. I might put it here tomorrow. Because shout out to you guys who were live on the stream on Instagram last night. But I put a piece of that stream up on my Instagram and Facebook page. I'll probably put it on here tomorrow morning. But basically what I said was, when you are big, strong guy, tall, in shape, handsome, got girls with you, whatever, you become a target of men that want to try to attack you or say little things to you or challenge you in some kind of way. I've experienced that quite a bit in my life. I ain't trying to toot my own horn, but it is what it is. The same thing. Okay, the guy hit you in the head with the beer can. And I told y'all on the stream before, didn't I, that the number one menace who always wants to fight me for no reason, a stranger, when I'm out anywhere, is a drunk, fat white dude. Always. 100% of the time. 5'7", beer belly, with beer in his hand, some kind of way, drinking, drunk. That's number one guy I always wanted to fight. But I got a call, then I'm going to get back to that story. 602, you don't lie, who am I speaking to?
Hi there. I just wanted to talk about the flag burning.
Yes.
So, I don't know if you heard about that court case 2 weeks ago where there was a flag of a certain nation. It starts with an I and ends with an Rael. Well, we're now forbidden to burn that flag. Not that I or anyone I know was doing that, but it became illegal, and that took priority over the American flag, which you could still burn. And a lot of people were saying how crazy that was, that a flag of another nation is put above the American flag. And which that I do believe that that's crazy. First Amendment applies to any flag. I mean, people can have an opinion about anything, right?
See, that's my thing. It's like, okay, if we're going to give special treatment to some nations and say you can't burn that flag, you can't burn the Israeli flag, you can't burn the LGBT flag, you can't do donuts on the LGBT crosswalk on the ground, you can't do this and you can't do that. Okay, if that's going to be what it is, then that's going to be unfair. It should be no flags can be burned or they all can be burned, and it really shouldn't be any in between.
Right, and this executive order, it just seems kind of like a cheap something to maneuver to say, oh, no, we can't burn the American flag either, so that it's not just like one country is getting preference. It just seems like a cheap cover-up, like a last-minute sort of, oh, no, let's just take the air out of that argument. Instead of actually... The rights of everyone in America are important, and sometimes giving people their God-given rights or recognizing their God-given rights make you feel uncomfortable in some way. And the same is true when they recognize your rights. Sometimes there's a little bit of a rub, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's a little bit uncomfortable. But that's what makes America great, is that we can all tolerate each other and that we all do have these rights. And there shouldn't be any one person who is higher than another, like Animal Farm, or they're just more equal. They get preferential treatment. It's wrong. And to just follow it up with this sort of, oh, well, you can't burn the American flag either, only under one really, really weird situation where you're trying to incite violence. It just, the whole thing reeks, and it just doesn't feel right to me.
I hear you 100%.
Yeah. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Have a great night.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Great call. Shout out to her. Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, if you're going to say that you can't burn an American flag, if you're going to say you can't burn an Israeli flag or the LGBT flag, then why would you say you could burn an American flag? Let's either have it. You could burn all flags or none, all or none. It shouldn't be anything special. And if it is something special, it should only be for the American flag, not the Israeli flag, not any other country, not the LGBT. Okay, that's what it should be. Now, going back to what I said about Raja, I told y'all before, the drunk fat white dudes always love to fight me, always love to approach me, always like trying to do something to me for no reason. Strangers I've never met before in my life, minding my business. I told y'all, like I told 2 stories. One happened when I was like 19, 20, young man. The other one happened like last year, and it was the same kind of guy just doing little stuff because he's drunk and envious of me. If you're 5'7" and 300 pounds, I'm 6'3" and I'm not 300 pounds. And both times I had a girl with me. The first time something happened like this, I was with 3 girls, but I was only with 1 girl, but she had her friends with her. But I have 3 girls with me on my arm, basically. And then the second time I had another girl, real pretty. They see that and they see me, and jealousy, envy, all of that just comes to the surface because they drunk and they realize they can't be like me. So then they want to try to antagonize me. Then they want to try to touch me and stuff like this. And I got to realize that, hey, you cannot beat this fat, drunk white dude up. First of all, you don't get no points for that. You beat up a drunk dude, it's like beating up a little kid. Okay, that's what that is. It's like beating up an elderly person or a little kid. You don't get no points for that. You get points for just being above the fray, which is what Roger tried to do at first. He was like, hey, what's going on with that? Why'd you do that? He didn't hit him right away. He just was asking, why'd you do that? But then all of the stuff, all the noise got into his head. Oh, he keep getting called soft because if you don't want to fight in situations like that, now you soft. I've been there before when I was younger. Oh, you soft, you don't want to fight. But if I do fight, now I'm in trouble. Now you want to lock me up. You see what I'm saying? But, oh, you're soft. The dad calling them a whatever. All these things going on, and you're not able to properly deal with your emotions. See, you can't control yourself because you can't deal with your emotions. You can't deal with when you have to just let people go. It eats away at you. So now we got a ticking time bomb that's ready to blow, and it blew up in the ring. It didn't really matter if it was Psycho Stu or anybody else. He was going to blow up eventually because he was not dealing with his anger properly. So when I say that, some think it's an excuse, but no, you have to understand that I'm saying people who cannot deal with their anger, they become ticking time bombs, and then they are a danger to everyone that's around them, including themselves. So the moral of that story is deal with your anger, get therapy, tighten up, because you cannot behave like that in society. But I digress. Let's get to the next call. 480, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 480, hello.
Hey, Adele, how are you? Let me turn off my TV. Okay, all I wanted to say is Brandon Johnson should be ashamed of himself. I can't believe these Democratic politicians, what they're, saying, trying to make something negative about what President Trump is trying to do in the inner cities. And that's all I wanted to say. And love your show.
Thank you for your call and your support. I appreciate you.
You okay? Bye-bye.
Shout out to the caller. Great call. But yeah, Brandon Johnson, I don't know what's going on with this guy. It's like, come on, man. Let's get it together. 859, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, ABL, it's your Luciferian Libertarian friend here. How's it going, buddy?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Domination of Hami LA and Anton LaVey. I'm just doing a drop-off for this order right here, and I'm waiting nothing. It's a call show. I'm just dropping off. And the guy who I delivered the food is watching your show at the same time. Hello, how's it going? Yes, ma'am. They're listening to your show, which is weird.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
Hello. Hey, all right, have a good one. All right, have a good one. Yep, right on it. See you. Okay. It's weird. I deliver food, and there's a fan I'm delivering food to. Isn't that odd?
That's funny. I like it, though. That's a good sign.
Definitely. I kind of understand. I was going to talk about the Detroit of the National Guard, and I understand both sides, because regardless of Trump or not in the situation, regardless if Trump is in the scenario or not, I think people are paranoid if the National Guard shows up in any town, just by itself. And especially if Detroit has a high crime rate, there's going to be mixed reactions regardless if the president says who's in power. You have to realize ever since Vietnam, ever since the 60s, ever since the 70s, people are skeptical of the military complex as we speak right now being next door to us. But at the exact same time, there is people that you know that on interviews that you've talked about that have been interviewed saying some of the National Guard guys are actually pretty nice and a lot more civil and a lot more nicer compared to law enforcement. So, I mean, I can see why people are paranoid, but also I can see why people want the National Guard because, like, there's tons of crime, violence, and not only that, the cops are not doing anything. And when they do anything, they take forever to go up to the place, the area, because they're so defunded.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if you got an issue with the crime, let's try to do something to fix it. That's going to be the bottom line. And the people who are affected by the crime consistently, they're going to be appreciative when the crime is resolved or the crime becomes lower than it was before. They're going to be appreciative of that.
But also, you have to realize that you got to look at their end of the point, regardless of Trump or not, because, again, that's a bit of a bias on them because they're always paranoid. But if Trump wasn't even in the situation, they would be paranoid because of history of the government known for, committing human rights violations in Middle Eastern countries. And I can see why they'd be paranoid because it's an unknown situation because it's a fear of the unknown.
I mean, it's not really unknown. It's just unknown if you're not paying no attention because the Guard been deployed before in D.C., in Chicago. It's not a new thing. It's just a thing that they don't want to happen because they are not really aware. Like a lot of them are not really from there, so they don't really know. But the people that's from there, people that have to live in these areas, they understand what's going on. You got a lot of out-of-towners giving their 2 cents, and they don't really know anything.
Well, I mean, there's probably people in the ground who are just as paranoid dealing with the stuff, but in their delusional mind, they think if you bring the National Guard in, it might get worse or it might get better. People who are wanting relief, they want it to get better. They want the National Guard. But also you have to look in the other side of it. When you have government intervention, there's going to be some people who are paranoid. And the ones who say, oh, they're going to lock us up and keep us in chains and stuff like that, and that's what the National Guard, they're running on delusion or they're trying to manipulate people around them. And I think it's kind of sick when somebody tries to play on other people's paranoia, like that guy said about trying to put people in chains. He might need a therapist.
Right on, for sure.
Most definitely. I mean, but that's the thing. I understand both sides. Like, I've lived in the ghetto. I lived in bad neighborhoods, and I don't like the crime, and I hate it. But when the feds show up, you tend to be the target too, as well, regardless if it's National Guard or not. And I can understand they're paranoid by it. But when they're reaching, saying they're going to put it in chains, I'm kind of rolling my eyes after that. I think the left have lost the argument when they run on propaganda like that.
Yeah, I don't like me being in a lot of these neighborhoods when I was growing up. Like, if you got more police out there, everybody know who the police are for. The police are for the criminals. The police ain't for you because you're not the actual problem. The police are there by the request normally of the people that live there, and you know what they're going to do.
Well, it's hit or miss because, like, a lot of the officers, the majority of the officers are just there to help. But there's also situations you get yourself in that, there's you could tell there's some obvious corruption or any obvious kind of favoritism towards it, and it has nothing to do about race, which they probably think that. Really, it's just paperwork and power control. Not all officers, but there's some officers out there you just question. You just think back in your mind, okay, what's going to happen? And it doesn't matter about race. It could be anybody. If you live in a neighborhood, if you experience seeing one officer going off his rails, then you're going to think everyone's that.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
I appreciate, man. I appreciate you, and I definitely appreciate your input, and I thank you very much for taking my call. Thank you very much. Hey, libertarian out. Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, shout out to the caller. But yeah, I mean, when the police get surged into your neighborhood, you know who they're going for. They're not going for you if you're not the problem. Like, you know what the problem is and who's doing what. Go get them. Like the regular citizens, that's of no concern to you. Okay. Now, okay, I'm gonna tell you about my incidents that I had with the drunk fat white dudes. So one time, I'm like 19, 20. I'm in the bar, At 19, but I might have been 21, maybe. But I was real young. At the oldest, I'm 21. So I'm in there with a young lady and her two friends, but I was not with the girls. I was just with the one girl, and she had her friends with her. Now let's get some context. The girl I'm with is black, but her friends are white. Okay? And we're in this bar that's like kind of a white bar, but it's like one black guy in there maybe, and another guy that's kind of like a black white guy, if that makes any sense. But anyway, we at the bar just chilling. Here comes Mr. Drunk Fat, 5'7", 300-pound, beer belly white dude. And because we're at the bar sitting, here he come, and he's like brushing up against me with his shoulder. Now I'm sitting down like this, like I am right now. And he is standing, but he's only like that much taller than me because he's 5 feet, he's short. He leans up against me. I'm like, what's going on? Like, you good, bro? What's happening? And he's like, is this your girlfriend? I was like, yeah. Well, and I don't know what he was saying, but he kept talking to me, and he's like leaning on me. I'm like, man, you need to back up. I'm gonna need you to back up right now. And he had a beer, and he was like getting ready like he's going to tip the beer on me or on her or on one of them girls. Now I'm like, that was my exact. I was like, oh man, here we go. Now I gotta fight this dude. Listen, I don't like fighting. I don't like it. I don't want to fight because what's going to happen is you're going to call the police or the police going to get called. I'm in this bar, a mostly white bar. I'm the biggest, blackest dude in there. At this point, I'm like 250, 6'3", 250, and I'm strong. Big for no reason. That's why he ran up on me, because I'm the biggest guy in there. That's how they do. The weakest guy mentally will try to attack the biggest guy physically because of I want to try to fight the alpha, whatever. So I'm talking to him, trying to get him to calm down. But at a certain point, I begin to yell. And I told y'all how I get. When I was on the plane, I did the exact same thing. I'm yelling real loud. The way I talk right now is my regular voice, and I'm already loud. So I got even louder. It wasn't a scream. Imagine this voice, but just a few octaves, a few decibels higher. I get so loud in my discussion with the guy, the whole bar stops. Everybody looking at us. He finally leaves. I'm like, thank you, Jesus, because I don't want to beat no drunk fat white dude up. I don't want to beat nobody up. But a guy like that is like beating up a little kid. So I don't want no parts of it. But it got close because I got this girl, and of course, I gotta protect the friends too, because they're just sitting there like this. So I gotta protect myself and them and not get in trouble. How am I gonna do that? That was when I was about 20, 21 years old. Again, it happens recently. I'm in front of a hotel. I'm dressed up. I dressed nice. I got a suit on. I got a velvet blazer on. I'm looking sharp. I'm with a young lady, red dress, body, just beautiful, right? And if you're watching, shout out to you. You and the first girl I talked about, shout out to y'all. But anyway, we're leaving, going to a party. A white couple, they were cool, very nice. Older white couple. Oh, you guys look so great. Can we get a few pictures? Sure, why not? Let's do it. So we're taking pictures. Here come Mr. Drunk Fat White Dude, right? Like I said in my video I'm gonna put out, he appeared to be about 28 or so years old, 5'7", beer belly, the same prototype as the first guy from 20 years ago. He's drunk, active. I could tell he's drunk. He has a 6-pack of beer in his hand. He's going into the hotel wobbly. He looked like he was in college, still in college. He looked like he was not done with college yet at 28, but college was done with him. A loser. So here he comes approaching me. He sees me taking pictures with the young lady. He's smiling. I'm like, here we go. Again, another one. And to be clear, I've had other incidents that happened in between this. In between the old one and the new one, there's been other things that happened along the way. And before that, I gave you just 2 examples. So he comes over to us, and he's like trying to hug me and embrace me and stuff. The couple, remember, the white couple taking pictures, the the man in the couple was like, oh, stop. He was trying to get the white guy to stop doing that because he saw what was going on, drunk and trying to approach me, trying to like get in my personal space. I'm like, no, go ahead. Come on. Take the picture. So I posted the picture and have a good night. That could have been me stomping this young white dude out. But why would I do that? Why I don't want to fight and he's drunk. So what's the purpose in doing that? Let's diffuse it so I don't have to go there. Now, when I do that, I don't feel like I cowered to somebody. I don't feel soft for doing that. I feel like I was the alpha and took control of the situation. Because if I don't do that, then that's when bad things can happen. That's when people can get themselves hurt for no reason. For no reason. And like I said in my video, I see guys like that as children. I see humans that do stuff like that to me and try to say little stuff and do little to get me off of my square and get me to get locked up. I see them like kids. You don't beat kids up. You just give them a little whipping at the most. And that's it. And if they're not your kids, you don't do nothing to them. You try to figure out a way to not have to do anything to them. The only way that you're ever going to see ABL fight in public is if I'm in serious danger. If there's a real threat against me. But beyond that, you just drunk and acting the fool. I'm going to try to diffuse it whenever I can. Roger did that at first, but he let it get to him. And a bunch of other prior incidents just like that got to him. And he let it build up on the inside until he just blew up. Until he blew up all the way in the ring. It didn't matter if it was Psychos 2 or anybody. Somebody was going to get that explosion. Someone was going to get the shrapnel from that explosion when it eventually happened. So, Roger, when you're in prison, I need you to be doing anger management. I need you to be looking at things a little bit differently because the next time this happens, you could end up dead or they could end up dead. You are so lucky that this man didn't die. Oh my God. Like you are super lucky because you were going there. You were so out of control and you blew up so much. You were just, I bet you if you were to ask him, hey, do you remember what happened? He probably would say no because he probably was just blacked out. Same thing, drunk guy. Do you remember going up to that big black dude in the bar and leaning on him, trying to put beer on him? Do you remember that? Nope, because you're drunk. And it's to the point now, I don't even go to bars because I know it's going to be something like that happens. And I'm not trying to get myself in trouble and I'm not trying to hurt you. I want to actually make sure that everybody else is good. And like somebody said it, with great power comes great responsibility. I'm the biggest guy, strongest guy, whatever. Okay, I have to make sure that people are safe and I'm safe as well. All right. Christopher says ABL has over 700 hours training as a submission expert. Nah, man, I don't got no training. I'm just a regular person. Rays on the radio says choosing one's battles is a sign of wisdom. ABL is spot on here. 100%. 100%. And JV, I didn't have all the girls. All I had was one. She just happened to have 2 friends with her. That's all. But since they with her, now it's my responsibility too. Because if this guy comes over there and does something to one of them, I have to defend them. Even though I don't even know them at all, that's her friends, I have to defend all of them. I got to defend all of us. It's 4 people. I got to 3 I got to defend and 4 including myself. All right. But yeah, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. Royal says I built a bar and an outdoor kitchen so I don't go to bars. There you go. Smart man. You got it all right there in house, so you only got to go. If I go to a bar, it's got to be like a restaurant bar. Like a real restaurant, not like a bar where the bar is the focus. Anywhere like that, like at night, like late at night especially, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want nothing to do with it. J.B. says, yep, I taught my 6'5" son, stay the F out of the bars. Yes. 6'5", man, that's gonna be the target immediately. You would think that a big, strong guy would be more intimidating, but to some people, they want to feel like they're the big man, that they're the boss, that they're in charge. So they want to go and try to attack the biggest, strongest guy. It's that movie trope. When I get locked up, I'm going to go punch the biggest guy in the face. People really try to do that type of stuff in real life. Okay, and then I got to be the one to try it on. But if I stomp them out, then they want to call the police. I've said this on numerous occasions, and I'm saying the exact same thing right now. Again, Raja, you got to be the bigger man. You were the bigger man at first when it first happened with the beer can. You were the bigger man. You did it right. But you let it get to you. Don't let it get to you. It's just like dealing with little kids. You understand that they're children and they don't know no better. Look at it that way. That's pretty much how I look at it. Adam says, I once, while drunk myself, outside a bar in Baltimore, diffused situation by loaning a fairly aggressive man some money he claimed he'd bring right back. I realized the next day, mostly peaceful robbery. Yeah, pretty much. There you go. Mostly peaceful robbery. Okay. That's all that is. And Sarah Moody says, yeah, ABL, so true. This is why I typically roll alone. Don't have to protect any women. Let them fight their own battles. Hey. Yeah, man. Ron, you want to talk to young ABL? Young ABL was different. Young ABL was something else. But young ABL was smart, and I never got in any kind of trouble. But there was always trouble around. It was always trouble to get into. It was right there. It's available for you. Hey, you want to fight this guy in the bar? Go ahead and do it. You want to punch this dude in the face because he said something to you? Go ahead and do it. You got to just not do that. You got to just protect yourself and others in the society. All right, I'm reading some of the comments. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Hold on. Hooters, yeah. I wouldn't go to Hooters because that's like drunk fat white dude. That's where they be. That's like the main. That's the spawn point of my nemesis is a Hooters. Oh, and don't let you go to a Hooters and then one of the girls that is a server give you a little bit too much smiling, and one of her regulars is in there. Oh boy, he ready to fight you over that girl. Look, I'm just in here for some onion rings. I don't know y'all's relationship or lack thereof. I don't know what's happening. All I want is the onion rings. So don't try to crash out over Summer Rain, whatever her name is, Summer Lynn, Amber Lynn. Don't crash out over Amber Lynn in this Hooters, okay? It ain't that deep. That's why I don't go there neither. Yeah, I don't go to Hooters or Twin Peaks or nowhere like that. I'm good. Scent battles, hey, I am straight. Yeah, you would have partied with young ABL for sure. You definitely would have had a good time. You would have had a good time. Rehab Master says, take a short white dude with you. Yeah, that might be what I need to do. Hey, give me a short beer belly, and it's specifically beer belly, not just drunk, but fat. Like Psychos 2 was that prototype. He just wasn't short. But that kind of guy with the beer, I've experienced guys like that. And the chief thing that they do is they drink, get liquid courage, and do things they normally wouldn't do. Have courage they normally wouldn't have. And they shouldn't have that courage because all they're going to do is get themselves hurt. That's all they're going to do. All right. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. That'll be a wrap for me. I'll be back. When am I back? I'm back. Same bat time, same bat place on Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm on the Instagram streaming every Tuesday. Again, on the Instagrams every Tuesday at about 9 p.m. If you were there last night, shout out to you. I'll be there every week. And of course, I'm here all the time putting out pre-recorded content. Shout out to you guys supporting the shorts. The shorts are blowing all the way up. All the way up. Like right now, I got like 1 million views on my channel concurrent. Like live, like 1 million views on my channel live right now. So it's crazy. So shout out to you guys supporting those. If I have enough content for a regular long form video, I'll put it out. But if not, I'm not going to force it. But that'll be a wrap for me. I will see you guys again on Saturday live. And before I close it on out, wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Thank you for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you do. Y'all know I could not do the show without you. Thank you to everybody for thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. Thank you to everybody for doing what you do. Also, this is a live audio podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. Did I get everything? I think I did. Visit the website, AnthonyBLogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGN.com. Visit ABLmerch.com, ABLmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more. But that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.